إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله عليه صلاة الله هي شفاء الصدور هي نور على نور ذكر ربك الغفور لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله عليه صلاة الله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله عليه صلاة الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله عليه صلاة الله بها يثبت الإيمان بها يحصل الأمان كرر أيها الإنسان لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله عليه صلاة الله قد أتانا في الأخبار عن المصطفى المختار أن أفضل الأذكار لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله عليه صلاة الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله عليه صلاة الله بها يثبت الإيمان بها يحصل الأمان كرر أيها الإنسان لا إلا الله محمد رسول الله عليه صلاة الله قد أتانا في الأخبار عن المصطفى المختار أن أفضل الأذكار لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله.
Testing 1 2. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala ashrafil mursaleen Sayyidina wa Habibina Mawlana Muhammadin sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa barik wa sallim. I just want to check that you can all hear me, insha'Allah wa ta'ala. If you can just send me a quick message, insha'Allah, then I know that it's all good. Okay, Bismillah. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Let's all begin with the dua together. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana. Allahumma 'allimna ma yanfa'una wa zidna 'ilma ya muqallibal qulub. Thabbit qulubana 'ala dinik. Ameen. So assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh once again. I make dua that you and your family are doing well, inshallah ta'ala, that we are in the last few days of Ramadan, the last few blessed nights of Ramadan, and that you are making the most of it, inshallah ta'ala. It's our last week now. I think today's the 23rd day, so it's the last few days. So inshallah, the last stretch we should try to push ourselves to take the most barakah from this month, and may Allah reward you for coming to learn Quran in this month of Ramadan. Allahu Ameen. So inshallah what we'll do is we'll go straight into work, and I would like you to take out your workbooks. So if you can take out your workbooks and Nahu workbook, and then we can go to the last exercise that we did. Which was exercise 4.1. Okay. So we're going to start here with our new lesson immediately, inshallah. For next week, there will be no class. I think it's most likely going to be Eid on Sunday. But whichever that is, next week we won't have class, and we'll carry on at the week after that, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, Bismillah. So in our last lesson we finished Jumlatul Fi'liya and Jumlatul Ismiya. And just to remind ourselves again, a Jumlatul Fi'liya is a verb-based sentence. Whenever I have a verb, I have a Jumlatul Fi'liya, and then I look for the fi'l, which is the verb, and then the fi'l has to have a doer, which is the fa'il, which will always be in raf'un, and I will find that fa'il either at the end of the verb, on the left of the verb, or inside the verb, and it often has a maf'ulun bihi. And then we also learnt about a Jumlatul Ismiya, which is a noun-based sentence, and that has a mubtada and a khabar, a rajulu tawilun, and the mubtada is the focus of the sentence. It's always in raf'un. It's normally ma'rifah at the beginning, and the second word is the khabar, gives you news about the focus of the sentence, and that's also in raf'un, and that's generally nakira. So that's what we did in the last lesson. So in this lesson, inshallah, we're going to continue with Sifa and Mawsuf. So I think you did go through this last time in the last lesson. But let's go through it again, inshallah. We'll look at some of these examples. The first example reads Rajulun Tawilun. Rajulun Tawilun means what? Means a tall man. And the next one is Ar-Rajula At-Tawila, means the tall man. And the next one, Ar-Rajulani At-Tawilani, means the two tall men. And the fourth one, Al-Binti As-Saghirati, means the small girl. So just based on those few examples, we'll listen just to all of it quickly. Baitan Saghiratan means, or Bintan Saghiratan means a small girl. And the last one here, Al-Bintaini As-Saghirataini, means the two small girls. So based on these examples, we discussed some patterns that we found. Who wants to remind me of the patterns that we found? In this construction, there are definite patterns that occur in all of them. So you can remind me about some of the patterns that you see here. Rajulun Tawilun, Ar-Rajula At-Tawila, Ar-Rajulani At-Tawilani. So we can see there's patterns on the Arabic words, and there's also in terms of the translation we can see a few things. Number one, the translation of all of these are not sentences. They are not. It's not a man is tall and the girl is small. It's not a full sentence. That's the first thing. So alhamdulillah, we have some feedback here. The second word will have the same gend as the first word. Okay, good. So that the second word, for example, in the first example, Rajulun, we can say four things about Rajulun. We can say it's male, masculine. We can say it's raf'un. We can say it's single, and we can say it's indefinite. And therefore, Tawilun will be masculine, raf'un, single, indefinite. Okay, so basically, in summary, if you want to summarize it, you'll say that the second word, the function of the second word, first of all, is to describe the first word. So let's do that first. That the second word, in each of these cases, the second word is providing a description of the first word. And the second thing we notice is that the second word always matches the first word in terms of gender. In terms of gender, encasing, number, and definiteness. Number 2, for example, here, if the first word is nasbun, the second word is nasbun. If the first word has an al, the second word has an al. For example, number 3, if the first word is dual, arrajulani, the second word is also dual, at-tawilani. For example, number 4, al-binti as-saghirati, if the first word is feminine, the second word is also feminine. Okay, so let's translate this quickly. Let's translate 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 until 14. Did we do this last week? I don't remember actually doing these answers last week. If you can just remind me. A week is a long time ago. So I can't remember. I think we probably did. I'm not sure. But you can give it to me again, inshallah. What is number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10, and number 11? Can you just give me the translation of that? Just another one says yes, and Brother Junaid says no. Okay, but give me the translation anyway. Oh, there's homework. Brother Junaid, did you know there's homework? Okay. Bismillah. So, al-muslimuna as-salihuna. Number 7. Al-muslimuna as-salihuna. So, so I must add the, and muslimuna as-salihuna, the pious Muslims. Okay, it's missing from your book. I'll help you find it, inshallah. Number 8, Muslimina Salihina. There's no al here. So number 8 is going to be, it's plural, ina. So it's going to be pious Muslims. Masjidun Kabirun. Masjidun is a mosque, a masjid, and it's indefinite. So a big masjid. Okay, let me just sort this out. And then al-bayta al-mubarakah. Al-bayta al-mubarakah. Al-bayta al-mubarakah, the blessed house. So hopefully you're marking your homework or doing your homework now, but you have to apply the examples, inshallah. Next one, at-tulabu as-sabiruna. We'll notice that at-tulab there is a plural. The single is talib. So at-talib is the student, at-talibani is the two students, and at-tulabu is a broken plural, and as-sabiruna is a sound male plural, sound masculine plural. So it doesn't matter the type of plural, they're both plurals. Okay, so we just notice that there with the number 11 is that they are both plurals, but different types of plurals, but that's fine. So at-tulab means the students, as-sabiruna means the patient. So it will be the patient students. Male or mixed group. Next one, talibina, sabirina, patient students. With no the. Al-Qur'anul Kareem. Al-Qur'anul Kareem. Kareem can mean, let's say, noble. Al-Qur'anu, the noble Qur'an. And the last one, Rasulun Amini. Rasulin Aminin. Amin means, let's say, trustworthy. So a trustworthy messenger. Okay. What do we notice that's different about the English translation versus the Arabic text? What do you notice that's different about it? What's different about the way we say it in English versus the way we say it in Arabic? Look at those examples and give me your thoughts. Okay, mashallah, Sister Nabila says that the words are swapped in order. So what's interesting is that in English, well, let's say Arabic, in English you first give the description before you provide what you are describing. The almost keep in suspense. Like if I say a big, tall, hungry, angry, you know what I'm speaking about until I say what. You with me? Like it keeps you in suspense. But in Arabic, they first tell you what you're speaking about. You're speaking about a girl or a masjid or the students, and then afterwards they provide the description. You with me? So in Arabic, the sequence is that you first state what you're speaking about. So example number 9, I first say masjid. Okay, I'm speaking about the masjid. Then I say, what about the masjid? Kabirun, a big masjid. Whereas in English, you first say a big, and then you say masjid. So the difference here is that the word being described or the object being described comes first, and the description or the adjective comes second. In English, the adjective comes before the thing you are describing. Make sense so far? Okay. So just to summarize, let me go back to the slide quickly. Just to summarize, okay, let's learn the terms quickly. Let's learn the terms. Okay. So ar-rajulu at-tawilu. So now you're with me? We're going to learn our new terms now. Ar-rajulu at-tawilu translates as the tall man. The tall man. Now, that phrase, and these are all going to be phrases or fragments of sentences, not actual sentences, these phrases or fragments. This phrase here consists of 2 words. The first word is what is being described. The first word is what is being described. And the second word is the description. The first word is what is being described, and the second word is the description. So the thing being described always comes first, and the description or the adjective or the describing word comes second. So all we're going to do is we're going to give you the Arabic terms for those 2. So the first word is called al-mawsuf, or you can say mawsuf as well without the al. Let's actually say it without the al, it's actually easier. Let's just say mawsuf. So the first word is what? Mawsuf. Say it together in your house, wherever you are, say it aloud. Mawsuf. So you get used to the word. It's important to interact with the language. So mawsuf. So mawsuf is what? Is the thing or person or entity being described. Mawsuf. You with me? And then the description or the adjective is called sifa. Sifa. Not sifa with a sin, it's with a sad. Sifa. Okay, so we're going to say sifa. One more time, sifa. So this construction is mawsuf, sifa. Mawsuf and sifa. Mawsuf and sifa. Say those 2 together. Mawsuf and sifa. Or you could say al-mawsuf and as-sifa. Same thing. The mawsuf and the sifa, or a mawsuf, a sifa. It's the same thing really. Okay, so this construction. So let me just take a pause for 1 second. We did Do I have it in the slide here? Let me see if I have it in the slide here. We did Jumlatul Fi'liya, because sometimes students get confused and start adding more and more and more. But let's just keep it simple. We did Jumlatul Fi'liya. When you think about Jumlatul Fi'liya, you think about three things. You think about three parts. And what are these? These are Fi'l, the verb, because the verb makes it Jumlatul Fi'liya. And the Fa'il, which is the doer, which is in Raf'un, which you find via Eli, end left to in. And Maf'ulun Bihi, which is the object or the done upon in the sentence. When you come to a Jumlatul Ismiyah, the parts you look for are Mubtada and Khabar. Mubtada and Khabar. Mubtada is the focus of the sentence. Normally it has an al. It is in Raf'un, it's at the beginning. The Khabar is news, information about the focus of the sentence. It normally doesn't have an al. You with me? So that are the two parts. For example, yeah, Ar-Rajulu Tawilun is different because Ar-Rajulu here is Mubtada and Tawilun is Khabar. So those are jumlas. But now when we come to this construction here, it's a new construction. This construction we're going to call the Mawsuf Sifa construction. So what do we call it? We call it the Mawsuf Sifa construction. One more time. It's called what? Say it aloud. Mawsuf Sifa construction. Okay. If there's someone in the room there, tell them you're learning about Mawsuf Sifa today. Okay. So what do you have to know about this construction? You have to know that this construction, so the heading here reads here, how to identify, not identify, identify a Mawsuf and a Sifa. First of all, it's going to be two words. And the second word, the function of the second word is to describe the first word. So that's the first thing. Before we even go to gender and matching hal and all those things, the second word must describe the first word. For example, Ar-Rajulu Al-Tawilu, Rajul means the man and Tawil means tall. The function of the word tall is to describe the man. Okay, it's important. So linguistically, the second word must be placed there to describe the first word. And then, number two, the Mawsuf and Sifa. What's Mawsuf again? Mawsuf is what is being described, and Sifa is the description. The Mawsuf and Sifa must agree in four things. And in brackets it says there with a smiley face, most times. Because we're going to have some exceptions. Okay, we're going to pause now, Brother Junaid. Let me just first finish the slide, then we can pause, inshallah. First, so let's do this quickly together. The Mawsuf and Sifa must agree. So what's the Mawsuf? The Mawsuf is Ar-Rajulu. What's the Sifa? At-Tawilu. Ar-Rajulu At-Tawilu. The Mawsuf and Sifa must agree in four things. In other words, G for gender, they must both be male or both female. The encasing, they must both be Raf'un, both be Nasbun, or both be Jarrun. The number, they must either both be single or both be dual or both be plural. And the definiteness, they must both be definite or both indefinite. Okay. So Brother Junaid is asking here, what is the difference between Mubtada and Khabar and Mawsuf and Sifa? Can I ask the class to answer? So who wants to venture an answer? The question is, what is the difference between Mubtada and Khabar and Mawsuf and Sifa? What's the difference between Ar-Rajulu Tawilun and Ar-Rajulu At-Tawilu? Okay. So Brother Junaid, I preempted your question, therefore I have a slide prepared on your question. Okay. So let's look at the two sentences on the screen. The first sentence reads Ar-rajulu tawilun. Ar-rajulu tawilun. Can you translate the first one for me? Bismillah. What's the first one? I need to translate the first one. And then the second one, how do you translate the second one? The second one is Ar-rajulu at-tawilu. So the first one is translated as the man is tall. The man is tall. Why do I translate it as the man is tall? Because I look at Ar-rajulu and look at tawilun. And I realize that ar-rajulu is definite, raf'un comes first, it's the focus of the sentence. And I see tawilun is indefinite, raf'un, it's the khabar, it's giving me news about the focus. Therefore there's a mubtada khabar construction. And for that I have to add an is or an r in the middle. Okay. Then I look at number 2, ar-rajulu at-tawilu, they're both the same. They're both raf'un, they're both single, they're both masculine, they're both definite. And the second word is describing the first word. Therefore, it's going to be the tall man. Okay. And the third one here is what? Rajulun tawilun. The third one is what? Rajulun tawilun is what? Means a tall man. Rajulun tawilun means a tall man. Oopsie. What am I doing here? Okay. So those are. So okay. So let me go to Brother Ray's question directly. What are the differences? Because it's important to understand the differences. Let me go to the next slide. There's the same thing in there. Ar-rajulu tawilun and ar-rajulu tawilun. Those are the two sentences. I want to compare these two. In the first one, ar-rajulu tawilun. In that first one, it is a sentence. Okay, so it has a complete meaning. So in terms of the construction, it's a sentence. It is the man, which is the focus of the sentence, and tawilun is tall, is giving me information about the focus. So I'll translate that as the man is tall, and the first part is called mubtada, and the second part is called khabar. In the second one, ar-rajulu at-tawilu, it is a phrase or a fragment or a compound. It's not a sentence. In other words, we're still waiting for the rest of it. The tall man is what? The tall man is what? The tall man is a student, for example. The tall man is a Muslim. We're waiting for the rest of the sentence. It's only a part of the sentence. It's a fragment. So ar-rajulu at-tawilu is the tall man. And those two parts are called what? What do we call ar-rajulu there and at-tawilu there? What are those two parts called? Anybody? So ar-rajulu is called Mawsuf, and at-tawilu is called what? Sifa. Mawsuf, Sifa. Okay. So yes, so let's go through the differences in terms of the way it looks. In terms of the way it looks, you with me? Just follow me with me here. I must say I do miss teaching in person, because normally when you teach and you have like feedback and interaction, so I just imagine you giving feedback. But just focus 1 second. There's a difference in the way it looks, number one. How does it look different? In the first one, the mubtada khabar, first difference, it will always be raf'un. You with me? In the Mawsuf Sifa one, it could be ar-rajulu at-tawilu, it could be ar-rajula at-tawila, it could be ar-rajuli at-tawili. Okay, that's the first difference in the way it looks. Is that in the first one, it will always be raf'un. and because the mubtada is always raf'un and the khabar is always raf'un, but in the second one it could both be raf'un or could both be nasbun or could both be jarrun. Second difference in the way it looks is that in the first one, that the first word has an al is definite and the second word doesn't have an al, it's indefinite. So it doesn't match in terms of definiteness. Whereas the second one, it's going to always match in terms of definiteness. If it's al here, it must be al there. If there's no al here, it must be no al there. Okay, so those are the basic difference in the way it looks. Then in terms of meaning, the first one is a mubtada khabar construction, so it's a sentence, and the second one is a Mawsuf Sifa construction, so it's not a sentence. Yes, so basically you write in the fragment in this let's call it the Mawsuf Sifa. In this Mawsuf Sifa construction, the hal doesn't have to be raf'un, it can be raf'un, nasbun or jarun depending on other reasons, but they're going to match completely. They're going to match in every aspect. Okay. I'll go through some quick examples on the screen just so we make sure we've recapped it. Will the noun-based sentence agree in gen? The noun-based sentence will always be, okay, so let's go back to noun-based sentence. The noun-based sentence will always be raf'un. So let's just say it will always be raf'un and raf'un in terms of the encasing. In terms of gender, it will generally agree. Unless you're going to say something weird like the man is a woman, then it won't agree. You know what I mean? But that's like a weird thing to say. But not so weird nowadays, because like weird is normal nowadays. But in general language, when you give you information about a man, the information will also be masculine. So generally it will agree in gender. And in terms of number, it will also generally agree also. So that answers your question. In terms of gender, yes, it will generally agree. In terms of encasing, it will agree because they're both always raf'un. And in terms of number, it will generally agree as well. Okay. It's tough times with Tawfiq, I'm telling you. But anyway, we just stick to Arabic here. Let's leave the gender debates, inshallah. I mean, okay, I can't sometimes help to drift from the topic for a moment. I mean, what's interesting about some of these gender debates? I mean, I'm not whether someone wants to. Basically, there's two schools when it comes to gender. There's one school called the constructivist approach, and there's one school called the essentialist approach. So essentialist is basically the Islamic approach, which basically means that your gender is linked to your biology, whereas the constructivist approach says that gender is linked to a social construct. Therefore, you can detach your social role from your biological reality. So that's basically the two kind of camps when it comes to gender. But what I find interesting is that we're coming to a situation in the world where someone else can impose something on you, but it's actually false. So I'm just to take a weird example. For example, say someone wants to be known as a cat, and then we're coming to a situation where it's almost going to become socially expected for me to say that human being is a cat because they identify as a cat, which is obviously not true in a scientific way or in a biological way, or just in terms of new human understanding that the human being is a human being and a cat's a cat. But you kind of get this imposition. I'm just drifting here, but I'm just get back to my Sifa Mawsuf. But there's something which is actually very, let's call it militant about it, is that it almost becomes like an imposition on everybody. Like everybody has to buy in to something. And therefore, in a few years, we won't have a male and a female section in the shop anymore. You won't have male clothes and female clothes and male toys for the kids and female toys for the kids. It'll actually disappear completely from our stores as well, because it's become such an imposition, even on those who don't buy into that understanding. So in a sense, it's actually very kind of imposing, and it's very intolerant, that approach. But anyway, I digress. Let's go back to where we are. We're back with Sifa and Mawsuf. And we are back. Okay, sorry. You're back. Okay. So the Sifa Mawsuf, you with me? This construction here. Yeah, but in all, I see there's a comment here from the Doddy bot. That name is a bit ambiguous. Anyway, let's go back here. Muslimatun salihatun and Muslimun salihun. Can you see if it's Muslimatun, then the Sifa will be salihatun, because Muslimatun is feminine, therefore the Sifa must match it. And if it's salihun, it will be Muslimun salihun, masculine. Now, Muslimatani salihatani, Muslimani salihani. Can you see Muslimatani is a feminine, therefore I use salihatani. Muslimani is masculine, therefore I use salihani. And the same thing, Muslimatun is a feminine plural, feminine plural, and therefore I use salihatun. And Muslimuna is masculine, and therefore I use salihuna. So they must always match in gender. If you look at the last two, that's interesting. Darun jamilatun aynun jariyatun. What's a dar again? A dar is a house, but remember that a dar is a feminine word. It's one of those that are deemed feminine. So even if it's going to be a deemed feminine word, I'll use a feminine sifa, jamilatun, because dar is feminine. And ayn, remember, ayn is a eye, also a spring. Ayn is a feminine word. Therefore, I use the word jariyah. Ayn means a spring in the sense, and jariyah means running, a running spring. Okay, so the point being, they both match in terms of gender. In terms of encasing, they must always match. For example, if ar-rajulu is in raf'un, at-tawilu will be in raf'un. If rajulu is a nasbun, at-tawila will be nasbun. If rajulun is jarrun, ar-rajuli, then at-tawili will be in jarrun. Same with muslimuna, salihuna, muslimina, salihina. Okay. In terms of number, same thing. They single muslimatun salihatun, or they dual muslimatani salihatani, or they can be plural rijalun salihuna. It doesn't matter what type of plural. It's just that they're both plural. Like rijalun is a broken plural and salihuna is a sound plural. It doesn't matter. Nisa'un salihatun. Nisa means females, women, plural as well. Salihatun. No. For deemed feminine, yes, they will put an F in the dictionary. For deemed feminine, they will put an F in the dictionary next to the word. So we'll know, therefore, it's going to be feminine. But there are very, very, very few deemed feminine words. There may be like, 25 or so in the whole language. So there are very few. But there will be an F in the dictionary. And the last thing is definiteness. Baytun saghirun, al-baytu, as-saghiru, and so on. Okay. I want us to go back to our homework, and we're going to end with this, inshallah. Your homework was worksheet 4.2. 4.2. So let's do your homework here quickly together. So we marked 1 to 6 in the last lesson. We went over it. So let's do number 7 is bintun mu'minatun. Bint means a girl, and mu'mina means a believer. So bintun mu'minatun means a believing girl. So if I have to make a sifa mawsuf here, al-binti will become what? Al-binti will become what? I want to make a sifa mawsuf description. Al-binti will be what? As al-mu. Okay, let me just. Al-binti will become will become al-mu. Mu'minati. Al-binti will be al-mu'minati. And that will be the believing girl. Okay. So bintani. So all I do is I keep matching it. For example, if bintani has no al, then I put no al on the mawsuf. If bintani is dual, I must make it mu. You can give me the answers as well. Mu'minatani. You with me? And it will be two believing girls. Then if it's al-bintani, it's going to become al-mu'minatani. Al-bintani, al-mu'minatani, because if this is al, this must be al. If this is dual, this must be dual. If this is raf'un, then al-mu'minatani must be raf'un. If this is feminine, must be feminine. So same story. The two believing girls. Then banat. Banat is a broken, not a broken plural. It's known as like a sound plural. Banatin. Banat is going to be similar to a sound plural, but in a banatin is plural. So then I must make it plural for mu'mina as well. So banatin will be banatin mu'minatin. And that's going to be believing girls. And the last one here, al-banatu will become al-mu'minatu, which will become the believing girls. Okay. So that's going to be your homework answers. For homework, I want you to do number 14. Okay, you can leave this one out actually. You can do exercise 4.3. Oopsie, my 4.3 looks weird. Exercise 4.3. Okay. However, actually just do the whole 4.3. All you must do is from the Quran. So 4.3 is Sifa and Mawsuf from the Quran. And you're going to do 4.3, you're going to simply translate it and you're going to identify where is the Sifa with a Saad above it and where's the Mawsuf with a Meme Saad above it. And you're going to translate number 1 to 20. Okay, that's all for now. And there's going to be some strange things while you're busy with it, which means that you're going to find some some of the examples is not going to conform to the rule. So even if you come across an example like that, try to translate it, try to highlight and say, why doesn't this conform to the rule? And then I'll tell you why in 2 weeks' time, inshallah. Okay. So your homework is just number 1 to 20, 4.3. Okay, how do I change it back to Arabic? So basically, if you have a keyboard, you can just, there's normally a shortcut key. In Mac and Windows, there's a shortcut key. So I just use the shortcut key to change back from language to language. You can just Google what it is. Or sometimes you can set your own shortcut key as well to change the languages. Okay. Good. Are you all good? Give me a yes if you're okay still. I know you're passing a long time now. Are you guys okay? Allah. Any questions? Today we're making more time for Sarf, inshallah. Give me a thumbs up if you're okay, a yes if you're okay. A lot of people are very quiet here. If you're very quiet, you must join the discussion, inshallah. We are chatting on YouTube mostly. There's no one on Facebook really, but we're chatting on YouTube. I was thinking of actually going to use Zoom or Teams soon. So I was thinking that maybe some people could give me a voice feedback as I'm talking, but not yet first. Let's just maybe after Ramadan, inshallah. Just to make the class more interactive, basically, is to yeah, but we'll see after Ramadan, inshallah. Okay, can I go back to question 9, exercise 4.2? Question 9. Yes, question 9, yes. We will send you the, yeah, so here's question 9. Bintani mu'mi, the mistake here, mu'mi natani. Mu'mi natani. Yeah, problem with Google Meet is that the chat window doesn't like stay open, and it like covers the screen. It doesn't like move the screen. But anyway, we'll sort it out some other time. Okay, now Nasreen, if you're listening, if you can just send the students the Sarf file on their chat, inshallah. Okay, sorry. Shukran mu'minatani. Some spelling mistakes here, but that's right. Al-bintani al-mu'minatati. Shukran for checking for me. Okay. So yesterday, alhamdulillah, I made the niyyah to start writing your Sarf textbook. So this is in production from yesterday. So alhamdulillah, I wrote like 15 pages of scales yesterday, so there's probably going to be a few typos because after the 10th and the 15th and 20th scale, you kind of, your brain goes a bit weird. So alhamdulillah, I put together the very basic scales for you. So you should have this file, and I'll ask Nasreen just to send this file to you. But it will be on your Dropbox. Okay, so do you have the file? Okay. So I mean the book isn't finished. Inshallah, I'll make the niyyah inshallah to finish this book by the next lesson. So you have a complete Sarf book. So there's just the basic scales, and then I'm still add the exercises and the explanatory notes and so on. But alhamdulillah, the hard work is the putting all the scales in. So we'll ask her to email the book as well. So let's go through it. and then we can use it at the can proofread it now one time together, and we can just recap as well. Okay. She'll send it to you to now, inshallah. But if you can read on the screen. So it says here, introduction to Sarf. Sarf linguistically, I think there's a mistake there. Linguistically. Sarf linguistically means turning or changing. So that's the linguistic meaning in terms of the dictionary meaning of Sarf. Therefore we say, Ya musarrif al-qulub, sarrif qulubana ala ta'atik. Oh, the changer, the turner of hearts, turn and change our hearts on your guidance. So the word sarf has a general meaning which means to change. In fact, if you go to let's go here to the dictionary quickly, and we look up the word sarfa. We will find that the word sarf here, the word sarf here means to turn away, to avert, to alienate, keep away, to turn, direct, and many other meanings. And at the end here it says to inflict a word, which means to change a word. So here the ism sarf means averting, turning away, using many other meanings in terms of different contexts. And here in dictionary we have ilmu sarf. Ilmu sarf means the morphology in terms of grammar. Okay, so we're back to our Sarf. Okay, so in this context, in this subject here, Sarf is the study of how word patterns change to alter the meaning of the word. Okay, so as we change patterns, we alter the meaning of the words. Then what are root letters? Which you should know. Root letters are words in Arabic are grouped in root letter families. Most Arabic words have 3 root letters. For example, the root letter family kataba, that's one family. It will have a meaning related to writing. The root letter family nasara, nun sara, will have a meaning related to what? To helping. The family fataha will have a meaning related to opening. And the letter sami'a will have a meaning related to hearing. So that's how in Arabic everything is structured around the root letter family. And then what's a word pattern? So Sarf is the study of how these root letter families are placed on various patterns. So what you learn in Sarf is you learn patterns, like you learn fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'alu, sami'a, sami'a, sami'u. So it's a set pattern. And each of these patterns produce meanings. And for example, below shows how one root letter family, kataba, can produce a number of different verbs and nouns. So Sarf actually applies to verbs and nouns, but in our first section, and especially for most of first year, we focus on verbs. At the end of first year, we'll do a bit of nouns as well. So for example, there's a pattern kataba, which means he wrote. So if you say nasara, it will be he helped. Then there's a pattern katabna, which means we wrote. If you put another root letter family on the same pattern, like nasarna, it will mean we helped. So it's the same pattern. Yaktubu, he is writing. Yansuru, he is helping. Uktub, write. Unsur, help. La taktub, don't write. La tansur, don't help. So those are examples of how we're taking one family, kataba, and we're making multiple words. Okay. And then katibun. Katibun means a writer. Can you say katibun is a ism? It has a tanween. It means a writer. If I put nasara, then it becomes nasirun. Nasirun means what? A helper. Fatihun means what? An opener. Sami'un means what? A listener. So that's the meaning. And then maktubun. Maktubun means something which is written. So if I put nasara, it becomes mansurun, someone who is helped. Maftuhun, something which is opened. Madrubun, something which is hit. So don't worry about the patterns for now. I'm just trying to say that Sarf is the science of word patterns. We take a root letter family, we put it on a pattern, the pattern produces meanings. So in Sarf we focus on scales because the scales are teaching you the pattern. Once you know the pattern, you can put any root letter on that pattern and you can produce your own words. So Sarf is actually a word factory. So if you keep going with the course, inshallah at some stage, you'll be able to produce a few hundred words from one. By the end of second year normally, you'll be able to produce about, I think, 300 to 400 words from one pattern. When I say that 3 to 4, I mean like fa'ala is a pattern, and fa'alu is a pattern, and fa'alta, and fa'alat, and fa'alna, and fa'alta, and fa'altum, and fa'alti, and fa'altunna, and fa'altu, and fa'alna. That's going to be 10 different words you'll be able to make. So as you continue, you're going to learn more and more patterns until that 10 becomes a few hundred, inshallah. Okay. Next thing. What is your learning outcome for the first section? Your learning outcome is that the student is able to recite the following scales from memory with translation and able to substitute the scales with different root letters. So your first goal in Arabic is to cover 6 foundational scales. When you cover these, this is like your foundation of your Sarf building. Okay. And the foundation of the foundation is number 1 and number 2. That's like the main part of these 6, number 1 and number 2. So you should know these 6. So if you're doing like a mental check, am I up to date? Let's see where you are. Number 1 is the past tense active verb, which is the fi'l maldi al-ma'lum fa'ala. The fi'l, when you say active, we mean the doer is known. Fa'ala. Let's do fa'ala together. And see now to actually okay, Sister Ellie, you're welcome, mashallah. So fa'ala. Fa'ala is to do together, inshallah. Fa'ala, fa'alu, fa'alat, fa'alna, fa'alta, fa'altum, fa'alti, fa'altunna, fa'altu, fa'alna. Okay. So that's one tick you must know. Am I able to do the fa'ala scale? And am I able to put other root letters on the scale? Like nasara. Nasara, nasaru, nasarat, nasarna, nasarta, nasartum, nasarti, nasartunna, nasartu, nasarna. Okay. Then, Sister Khadija, mashallah. Yes, we're coming to Khabar and prohibition, inshallah. So that's why I did the textbook, because I was just feeling bad about, I feel guilty if I don't give you like good learning material. And I feel actually like sorry for you, like how can I be such a bad teacher, not give you the proper stuff, because the slides get confusing. So my guilt eventually pushed me to to write the scales. So at least you have like one place to memorize all your stuff. Okay. I think Sister Nasreen is having some issues with her internet. But we'll email to you afterwards, inshallah. And just give me 1 second. The next one is going to be the yaf'alu scale. The next one is going to be the yaf'alu scale, which is the present tense al-fi'lu al-mudari al-ma'lum, active with the do is known. Yaf'alu, bismillah, yaf'alu, yaf'alu, yaf'aluna, taf'alu, yaf'alna, taf'alu, taf'aluna, taf'alina, taf'alna, af'alu, naf'alu. So you must know that's a learning outcome. And then you must be able to substitute another scale onto it. Like for example, yansuru, yansuru, yansuruna, tansuru, yansurna, tansuru, tansuruna, tansurina, tansurna, ansuru, nansuru. Then number 3 is the past tense passive scale, which is nusira, He was helped. You must be able to say it from memory. Nusira, nusiru, nusirat, nusirna, nusirta, nusirtum, nusirti, nusirtunna, nusirtu, nusirna. And be able to substitute another word into like duriba. Say together. Duriba, duribu, duribat, duribna, duribta, duribtum, duribti, duribtunna, duribtu, duribna. And then the last, not the last, second last one we did was yunsaru. Yunsaru. Yunsaru, yunsaruna, tunsaru, yunsarna, tunsaru, tunsaruna, tunsaruna. Sorry, I'm getting confused here. Yunsaru altogether. Yunsaru, yunsaruna, tunsaru, yunsarna, tunsaru, tunsaruna, tunsarina, tunsarna, unsaru, nunsaru. So what I've done is, I've basically for each scale, I made, I put the scale they basically down for you, so you have a picture of it, or you have a visual of it. Let me just open it a bit more like this. So now, the first one is past tense scale ma'loom. So basically, I'm going to go through all the scales now, but you basically have to just, you can learn fa'ala, and there's little icons there for you to help you visualize it. So, what's actually better in Arabic from a learning point of view, and just think about this for a moment. What's better in Arabic from a learning point of view is for you to attach a picture to a word instead of a translation. So let's say it again. If I give you an Arabic word, and let's say the Arabic word is a word you don't know. For example, the word hatif. Hatif, you don't know what a hatif is. Now, a hatif is a phone. So now you can either attach hatif, phone, or you can say not say phone and say hatif is this thing. You with me? So it's much better to try to visualize the Arabic picture of what you're saying instead of the translation, if that makes sense, because the picture is the object that you are referring to, whereas the going from Arabic to translation to the object is 2 steps, mentally speaking. That woman not a hijab. No, those women are غير محرم, so they're okay. Okay, let's go through inshallah. Fa'ala is so we picture the one man and we point to him. That manche there. We picture the one man and we point to him. Okay, and that's fa'ala, he did. Then fa'alu, remember fa'alu has 2 meanings. Fa'alu can mean they group of males did, or it can mean they mixed group did. You with me? They males and females. So I basically included the females there. I'll include the females there because in the Quran most of the time the verbs are going to be used for a mixed group. You with me? So it can mean a group of men, but most time it's going to be referred to a mixed group. Then fa'alat is a female, she did, and then fa'alna is a group of females, they many females did, 3 plus. Then fa'alta is you did, you one male, and fa'altum, you many males or mixed group, and most times the Quran is going to be using it for mixed group. Fa'alti, you one female did, and fa'altunna, you many females did. Okay. And then fa'altu, you point to yourself, ana, I did, and fa'alna, we did. So to answer the question here, I have said here in the footnote, note that dual verbs have been omitted as they rarely appear in the Quran. So if you want to know what they are, there's 3 dual verbs we have omitted. The one is fa'ala, which means they 2 males did. So must not fa'alata, fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'alu, fa'alat, fa'alata, the fa'alata is righteous. Fa'alata, they 2 females did. and fa'altuma, which means you two females or you two males did. Okay. So the mistake here is not he did, it's we did. Shukran for picking that up. Okay. So basically this is basically going to be the first one, and then you have to memorize these ones here. So you hopefully know these ones: fataha, daraba, nasara. So your homework will be to make sure that you've memorized these ones here: fataha, fatahu, fatahat, fatahna, fatahta, fatahtum, and so on. And inshallah, in the holidays, I'll add some QR codes, and the QR codes will also have the voice over, so you can hear the scales via the QR codes. If you don't know what the QR code is, don't worry, you'll know soon. And samia and so on. And then we have the present tense scale, the same thing. I'll fix up the typos inshallah and then send to you. And then we have all the scales here: past tense, passive, and so on. So what I want to get to know is that, alhamdulillah, I think we've done most of the scales. We're on the command scale. So let's do the command scale from the textbook, inshallah. Let's do the command scale from the textbook. So the command scale in Arabic is called fi'lul amr. Fi'lul amr, fi'l means a verb and amr means a command. So fi'lul amr is the command scale. Another word for command is imperative. Imperative. Okay. So we have the command scale, and the command scale is only 4 words. Why 4 words? Because you're only going to instruct or command someone who you are addressing. So remember, there's 3 persons. There's the absent person, he, she, they, and so on. That is the yaf'alu, yaf'aluna, taf'alu, yaf'alna. Then there's the I on the we, af'alu, naf'alu, and then there is the person you are addressing. So there's only 4 words you have to remember, and the first word is if'al. If'al. If'al means do for you, one male. If'al means do for you, one male. Then the second one is going to be if'alu, which means do for you, many males. And the next one is if'ali. I think if you can just post Sister Nasreen's number onto the chat, and then she can assist the foreign students, inshallah, too, with the admin. If someone can just post Sister Nasreen's number and email, and then she can assist, inshallah. Okay. And I think Nasreen is having some internet problems, so she's just a bit struggling to get online. Anyway, then one female is if Ali. If Ali means you, one female, do. And many females is if alna, which means you, many females, do. So let's say those 4 things together. I wish I could hear you say it, but let's say together. If al, and we can point actually. Okay, don't point, it's fine. If al, do. If alu, if ali, if alna. So altogether, if al, if alu, if ali, if alna. Altogether again, if al, if ala, if alu, if ali, if alna. Okay. So those are going to be the 4. You have to memorize that. There's some more details now, so I'm going to add some more details now. Are we all good with those 4? When I say good, are you able to say those 4 from memory? If al, if alu, if ali, if alna. And number 2, are you able to translate it? That's which are you good means. If al, do for you, one male. If alu, do for you, many males or mixed group. If ali, do for you, one female. And if alna, do for you, many females. Are you able to do that? Because now we're going to add some detail, inshallah. The textbook should be in your WhatsApp. You can check it there. It should be in your WhatsApp. We're on page number 6. There are some typos. I picked up some typos now. But you're welcome to send the typos to Nasreen, and she will just let me know where they are in case I've missed them. I see the we's is all says he, so I must change all the he's to we. Okay. Now let's just read this quickly. This section here, it's an interesting section. It's called the two Hamzas. The two Hamzas. The two Hamzas. And the foreign students, you can just WhatsApp that number. Just send them the WhatsApp number with the country code so that they can also get the textbook as well. So you can send them the WhatsApp number with the country code so they can get the textbook as well. Okay, Bismillah. So we have two types of Hamzas. Two types of as in Arabic. The first one, so we're going on the right hand side. I'm actually zoom in here so you don't distract yourself. Yeah. The first one is called Hamzatul Wasli. Hamzatul Wasl. Hamzatul Wasl. Say it together, Hamzatul Wasl. You don't really have to know the Arabic, just you have to know the concept. I just made it up and let's call this the read-through Hamza. The read-through Hamza. So in this Hamza, you can see on the alif, there's no little small Hamza. If you look on the left-hand side, can you see there, on the left-hand side, on the alif, there's a small little Hamza there. On top, there's a small Hamza there. There's a small little Hamza. But on this one here, there's no small Hamza. You with me? So this here is the Hamzatul Wasl, which is the read-through Hamza. So in this Hamza, if it looks like this, with nothing before it, there's nothing before the Hamza, there's a blank space there. I say, if'al. You with me? If'al. If I have nothing before this one here, I say, unsur. Unsur. But if there is a word or a sound before it, like I'm reading the Quran, I'm reading fluently through it, how do I read this? Say it for me. How do I read this? I can't hear you. Louder. how do I read that? I read that as waf'al. Waf'al. I don't say wa'if'al. I say waf'al. Why? Because that is a Hamzatul Wasl. It's a read-through Hamza. Waf'al, yes. And how do I read this here? I read this wansur. I don't say wa unsur. I read it wansur. Okay. You with me? So if the reading starts with this Hamza, like if'al unsur, you're starting your recitation, you're starting the verse with this Hamza, you will say it. You will say if'al unsur. Then you pronounce the Hamza. You pronounce the a or the u or the i. However, if the Hamza is preceded by another word or a haraka or a sound, then you won't pronounce it, you'll read through it. You'll just bypass it. You with me so far? Why did I mention this whole long story about the Hamza? Look at the last point there. The command verbs, the Amr verbs in this section that we're doing now starts with this Hamza here. Which Hamza? Hamzatul Wasl. You with me? The command verbs we're doing in this section starts with this Hamza. Okay. I think people are getting hungry here, but when you say a waffle will be nice for iftar. MashaAllah. So the command verbs in this section start with this Hamza. You understand? Let's look at the other one and it will become clearer. The other one is called Hamzatul Qat'i. Say it just for practice. You don't have to memorize it. Just say it. Hamzatul Qat'i. This is the, I just called it the always pronounced Hamza. And how do you know the difference? You'll see that there's a Hamza on the alif. For example, if'alun, or Hamza above it, af'il, or could be uf'il as well. It doesn't matter. It's a i-u, but there will be a Hamza in there. You with me? So if you start if'alun and af'il, when you have something before the Hamza, for example, wa, it becomes what? Wa. Read this for me. Read this for me. Wa if'alun. I don't say waf'alun. Wa if'alun. Read this for me. Wa af'il. Wa af'il. So this Hamza here is always pronounced regardless of whether it is at the start of the reading or during the course of the reading. You with me? For example, so let's go to the Quran for 1 second. Let's look for a an amr. Let's see if we can find the amr. For example, yeah. We're looking at this part of the verse here. Second line here. So, in the second line here, it says, Qala ya abati. Ya abati. Now, in this mushaf, and this print is basically, let me just zoom in a bit here. This print is the like the Medina print. So this print here, can look at the word abati. On there's a Hamza. That Hamza, that's a Hamza al-Qat. You know, that's a Hamza you must always say. Then if you look at this if'al here, can you see on the Hamza there's like a curly thing there? That curly thing means there's no Hamza on top there. That's like a weird thing. But the curly thing on top of that Hamza means it's a Hamza with nothing on. You with me? It's not a normal one. So just differentiate. So how will I read this? Qala ya abati. I'll read this. If I'm reading through, I will say Qala ya abati f'al. I'll read through it. You with me? Ma tu'mar. Ya abati f'al ma tu'mar. If I had to stop here, Qala ya abat, and I had to start the recitation here, I would say if'al ma tu'mar. You with me? So that's going to be an example. There's another example for you to look at. For example, yeah. Second line. قلوب الذين كفروا رعبا. Then it says here, can you see there? This is the amr idrib idribu. Idrib idribu. So this becomes what? Fadribu. So I'll read through here. فاضربوا فوق الأعناق واضربوا. Two amrs here. فاضربوا واضربوا. So again I won't say وإضربوا or فإضربوا وإضربوا. I'll say فاضربوا and واضربوا. Okay, this is the last one. We can check quickly. Brother Yahya, if you can just message Nasreen inshallah, and then she will send you the textbook. For example, look at this one here. Can you see the very first word here? The very first word here is an amr. i'lam. Alima means to know. Ya'lamu, he is knowing. Ta'lamu means you know. The amr here is i'lam. I'lam. But can you see there's no harakah in i'lam? So because there's nothing preceding i'lam, I would say i'lamu. I'lamu. It's Quran.com I'm using. Quran.com. This is the Medina Mus'haf. The Indo-Pak Mus'haf looks a bit different. I generally personally read from the Medina Mus'haf. 19 to 20. Oopsie. Okay, so you can see here. Here is i'lamu. So if I start here, I will say i'lamu annama al-hayatud dunya la'ibun wa lahun and so on. So I'll read through here. I would start with the I. But if I had to read through from the previous verse, Ulaika ashabul jahim i'lamu. You see, if I'm reading from the previous verse into this verse, I have to say Ulaika ashabul jahim i'lamu. But if I'm stopping there, Ulaika ashabul jahim. Stop. Start here. I'lamu. You with me? So that's the difference. Okay. So your homework. And again, I left out the dual here. The dual, there's one dual here, and the dual is if'ala, which means the two of you do. But we left out the dual for now. Okay, so we're going to answer your question now. We're going to answer your question now. Okay. Look at the three examples on the screen. Look at the three examples on the screen. We are on page number 6. The three examples on the screen. Let's do number 1, iftah. Iftah means open. Let's say the scale together. Iftah, iftahu, iftahi, iftahna. Again. Iftah, iftahu, iftahi, iftahna. Translation: Iftah, open for you one male. Iftahu, open for you mixed group or group of males. Iftahi, open for you one female. And iftahna, open for you many females. Listen to the next one. Idrib. Altogether. Idrib. Idribu. Idribi, idribna. Again, idrib, idribu, idribi, idribna. One more time. Idrib, idribu. And actually point as well. Okay, I don't point, man. Because a lot of the amrs come with du'as. So, or you can point for practice if you want to. One finger, idrib. Many fingers, idribu. One finger, idribi, idribna. If you want to try it. Idrib, idribu, idribi, idribna. Idrib, hit, or you one male. Idribu, hit, you many males, or mixed group. Idribi, hit, you one female. And idribna, you many females. Now what's interesting, when I come to nasara yansuru, I don't say insur, I say unsur. When it comes to fataha yaftahu, I say iftah. When it comes to daraba yadribu, I say idrib. When it comes to nasara yansuru, I say unsur. Why? I'll explain now, but just practice the scale first. Unsur. Bismillah, practice with me. Unsur. Unsuru. Unsuri. Unsurna. All together. Unsur. Unsuru. Unsuri. Unsurna. Again. Unsur. Unsuru. Unsuri. Unsurna. Translation. Unsur. You one male help. Unsuru, you many males mixed group help. Unsuri, you one female help. Unsurna, you many females help. Next one. Sami'a yasma'u, the amr is isma'. Okay, now Nabila, we're going to answer your question now. I'm just keeping you in suspense. Okay. Because you're going to answer the question yourself after this, inshallah. Isma'. Sami'a yasma'u isma'. So bismillah, isma'. Isma'u, isma'i, isma'na. Again, isma', isma'u, isma'i, isma'na, with pointing. Isma', isma'u, isma'i, isma'na. Listen, 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 listen. Ihsib, bismillah, hasiba, yahsibu, ihsib, ihsib, ihsibu, ihsibi, ihsibna. Together. Ihsib, ihsibu, ihsibi, ihsibna. Last time. Ihsib, ihsibu, ihsibi, ihsibna. And the last one is karuma, yakrumu. Karuma, yakrumu. And the amr here is not ikrum, it's ukrum. Ukrum. So bismillah, say together. Ukrum, ukrumu, ukrumi, ukrumna. All together. You must say it if you're at home. You must say this stuff so you can get fluent, so you can memorize. So bismillah again. Ukrum, ukrum, ukrumu, ukrumi, ukrumna. One more time. Ukrum, ukrumu, ukrumi, ukrumna. Karuma yakrumu means to be noble. Can also mean generous as well. The word karim. Okay. So there are a few questions about this. Number one is, what do you notice? You notice that in the amrs here, it either starts with an I or with an U. Do you notice that? It's either is or U, uk. It doesn't start with a. So the amr we're doing now, this amr here, doesn't start with an a. It either starts with an I or with an U. Ukrum. Yeah, so there's a mistake in the scale here. There mustn't be ukrumu, it must be ukrum. Shukran. So let's go back in. There should be ukrum, not ukrumu, ukrum. So it starts with the E or starts with the U. So can I ask you, can you tell me? You tell me, yes, I'm on the shade inshallah. Can you tell me, when do you use an U and when do you use an E? Look at the pattern here. When do you use an U and when do you use an E? At the beginning. You'll see there's a certain pattern to it. When do you use an U and when do you use an E? At the beginning. Okay. The doddy bot. MashaAllah. The U, when there is a dhamma on the middle letter. Okay, good. So you can see Nasara yansuru. The ain letter, the middle letter is the sad. The ain letter is a sad, which is an U. So if the ain letter is a U, the middle letter is an U, I use an U in the beginning. Karuma yakrumu, it's an U, I use an U at the beginning. Okay. So when do I use an E? Can you see here? Isma, sami'a, yasma'u, fataha, yaftahu. If the middle letter is an A or an A, I use an E at the beginning. If the middle letter is an E, then I use an E at the beginning. Okay. So basically there at the bottom it will give the answer. That will say here, the alif at the beginning will take a kasrah. The alif will take a kasrah if the middle root letter, listen carefully, if the middle root letter of the command / present tense verb has a kasrah or a fatha. Just process that. When the ain letter has a kasrah or a fatha, then it will have an E. And if the ain letter has a dhamma, like yansuru or yakrumu, then it will have a dhamma at the beginning. Is it understood? Are you all good? So what you have to do for homework is I don't have an exercise for you to do. I want you to do for homework is I want you to be able to memorize these 6 plus obviously the if'al one. I want you to be able to say, actually write this out. Write out these 6 scales and memorize them. Write out these 6 scales and memorize them. Okay. Okay, so good. How do we know what the harakah on the letter is? So before I go to that answer question, this first word, is it u'lamu or i'lamu or a'lamu? There's no harakah in there. So how do I read that first word? I'lamu, a'lamu or u'lamu? Remember the thing on the alif isn't a it's just a squiggly thing. How do I read this here? So I see that the Ain Lam Mim is the Ain Lam Mim are the root letters. The Ain letter is the Lam, La. So if the Ain letter is an A, then I will start with an I. So it will be I'lamu, I'lamu. Okay, how do you know what the Ain letter is? It's in the dictionary. Either you'll learn it, like I'll give it to you. Like I'll tell you, Sami'a, yes, Ma'u, Fataha, Yaftahu. So I'll give it to you. Or you can go to the dictionary and you can type in any word. For example, if I go to Sami'a, if I go to any verb, next to the verb there will either be an A or I or a U. You can see it says Sami'a and it says A. This here where my mouse pointer is an A. And A means that the middle root letter of the present tense has an A. So it's not yasmi'u or yasmu'u, it's yasma'u. Yes, ma'u. You with me? If I go to, for example, daraba. If I go to daraba, daraba. Okay, I find daraba here. Can you see there's daraba and next to it there's an I, which means what? This hands for yes. This is I. So daraba, the middle letter is going to be daraba yadribu. Not daraba yadrabu or daraba yadrubu. Daraba yadribu. You with me? Daraba yadribu. And then finally, let's go to nasara. Can see nasara, there's an u, a u, which means nasara yansuru. Okay, so that's how you know. You look in the dictionary. If there's an a next to it, then it's an a. If there's an I, it's an I, and there's a u, it's an u. Okay, so you got your homework, inshallah. I'm gonna fix the typos. I'll hopefully remember where the typos are. I'll fix the typos after this, inshallah, and then we'll resend you the book with the corrections. And if you pick up more typos afterwards, you can just let me know, inshallah ta'ala. So your homework for Sarf is just to memorize and write out and memorize those 6 those 6 command scales for homework. And our next lesson, remember next week there's no lesson, next week is Eid, inshallah. So our next lesson will be in 2 weeks time, where we will do the nahi, the last of the 6 scales. So I think part of your homework is go through the textbook and try to consolidate and say the scales and memorize them and be fluent in them, you have, alhamdulillah, 2 weeks to consolidate them. So as you're finishing your khatam, also finish your khatam of your scales, insha'Allah ta'ala. Okay. So we end not in the lesson, we end the first year lesson. After this we'll have the second year lesson, inshallah, but we end the first year lesson with some nasiha, inshallah ta'ala. Let me just find where I want to be. Okay. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man wala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah once again. For this nasiha, I would like to focus on, let's say in the previous lessons, the previous nasihas, we looked at the ayat of fasting and we looked at the placement of the verses. So for those of you who are in first year, you generally learning the Quran word by word. So especially in first year, we learn the Quran word by word, like what is Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykum as-siyamu. What is the word by word meaning? What do the words mean? So the Quran is amazing in the sense that if you look at the individual words of the Quran and you study why did Allah use that word there, why didn't Allah use a different word, a synonym instead, why did Allah use that tense, why did Allah use a fi'l instead of a ism. So if you study even one word in the Quran, even that study of one word is beautiful. And then if you study a phrase in the Quran, why did Allah phrase it like that, or why did Allah construct that sentence like that, even that is the miracle of the Quran, because the expression of the Quran is what is in the miracle of the Quran. The mu'jiza of the Quran is not necessarily mainly like scientific miracle or historical forecast. The main miracle of the Quran is actually it's a linguistic miracle. So if you study the Quran at that word level or at the phrase level or at the sentence level, the Quran will blow you away. And then if you go further up, so you imagine like the lowest level is like a harakah, and you go up, you look at the word level, then you look at the phrase level, then you look at the sentence level. I want us to go even further up, where we look at the placement of where things are placed. You with me? So you can study the Quran at many levels. So where things are placed, because even where Allah puts certain surahs or where Allah puts parts of a surah, like why is fasting mentioned in this part of Surah Al-Baqarah and not a different part of Surah Al-Baqarah? That must have significance, because the sequence of the ayat are by divine decree. The sequence of the ayat, when the Prophet ﷺ received ayat from Surah Al-Baqarah, the Prophet ﷺ would tell the scribes where to place those verses. And Surah Al-Baqarah is the longest surah of the Quran. So what does the first part of Surah Al-Baqarah deal with? The first part of Surah Al-Baqarah actually doesn't really address the Muslims directly. The very first part of Surah Al-Baqarah gives you a very brief overview of who are the believers and who are the disbelievers and who are the hypocrites. And then Allah goes and Allah begins and gives you a brief version of the story of Nabi Adam alayhi salam. And then the bulk of Surah Al-Baqarah is actually about Bani Israel. The bulk of the first juz of Surah Al-Baqarah is about Bani Israel. And then Allah speaks about them and many of the events in their life. And Allah speaks about them as a lesson for the Muslims, as a lesson for the believers, and as a call to Islam for the Bani Israel as well. And then just before the ayat of fasting, Allah does something significant in the surah, is Allah then addresses the Muslims, the believers. And what Allah does before the ayat of fasting is Allah establishes a new qibla for the believers. A few pages back, Allah establishes a new qibla for the believers. قَدْ نَرَى تَقَلُّبَ وَجْهِكَ فِي السَّمَاءِ فَلَنُوَلِّيَنَّكَ قِبْلَةً تَرْضَاهَا. We see you, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, casting your gaze towards the heavens, and we will turn you to a qibla, a direction that pleases you. And as Allah turns the Muslims in Surah Al-Baqarah towards the new qibla, then Allah starts speaking to the Muslims about what their role should be, what their life should be, what their action should be. You with me? So it's a beautiful sequence of the surah. And also another very significant personality in Surah Al-Baqarah is Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam. Because Nabi Ibrahim is actually the opposite of Bani Israel. Because Bani Israel is a nation who have been favored multiple times by Allah Ta'ala and continuously turned away from the favor. Whereas Nabi Ibrahim is the opposite. He is the one who is tested continuously, and he is the one that continuously submits to Allah Ta'ala without hesitation. So you have two case studies in Surah Al-Baqarah that are contrasted. And then in the middle of the surah, you have the Muslims now being turned towards a new qibla, and then that is the context where Allah starts speaking about what the Muslims should be doing. And in that context, Allah starts speaking about يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم. Because I have just mentioned those people in Bani Israel that came before you, and as I have mentioned their life and their sunnah and what they did, I am now prescribing something to you, the Muslims. So that's the kind of macro picture of where Siyam or fasting fits into Surah Al-Baqarah. Now what I'd like to do is I'd like us to take a few steps, because what's important in the Quran is that, and especially if you're a student of the Quran, is never ever to try to understand a verse in isolation. One has to understand the verse in the context of what precedes the verse and what succeeds or comes after the verse. And then once you've done that, also you have to understand the verse within the context of the whole surah as well, and in the context of its historical revelation and many other things. So we have to fully appreciate the verse. We have to understand the context in which it is revealed. And as I said, whatever level you study at, whether it's the word level, phrase level, sentence level, context level, it is all miraculous. And this is part of the mu'jiza and the beauty and the power of the Quran. So, when Allah prescribes in verse number 183, when Allah prescribes, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ, Allah ends that and tells you that fasting has been prescribed upon you as it has been prescribed upon those who are before you, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, in order that you may have taqwa. Now let's go back a few verses. So I want you to remember the word tattaqun there. I want you to focus on the word tattaqun, and I want you to focus on the word kutiba. So two words you're focusing on here is kutiba and tattaqun. Kutiba, something which has been written, is majhul. Kutiba has been prescribed, ordained, written. And why? Tattaqun, in order that you may have taqwa. We're going to take a step back. We're going one page back. So we're not doing the whole surah context. We're going to go one page back before Surah Al-Baqarah, and one page before the ayat of fasting, and one page after the ayat of fasting. Just to see what is the context of this. Allah says in verse number 107, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, ليس البر. I want you to remember the word bir. Bir means goodness. Bir means goodness. I want you to remember the word bir. ليس البر. It is not bir. أن تولوا وجوهكم قبل المشرق والمغرب. It is not goodness merely to turn your face towards the east or the west. So even though Allah has set you towards a new Qibla and you've moved away from the Qibla of Bani Israel to your new Qibla in Makkah, it is not merely goodness for you just to be a ritual Muslim and just turn yourself in a certain direction and that's now, you're done deal. وَلَكِنَّ الْبِرَّ. What is real goodness is man amana billah, is the one that has faith in Allah Ta'ala. وَالْيَوْمَ الْآخِرِ, and in the last day. وَالْمَلَائِكَةِ, and in the angels. وَالْكِتَابِ, and in the books. وَالنَّبِيِّينَ, and in the prophets. وَآتَ الْمَالَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ, and he gives wealth out of his love or despite his love for it. ذوي القربى واليتامى والمساكين, to those who are close, to those who are yatama, who are orphans, والمساكين, those who are impoverished. وابن السبيل, and those who are travelers. والسائلين في الرقاب, and those who ask while they are in captivity. And what else is bir? وأقام الصلاة, and that person establishes salah. وآتى الزكاة, and the person gives zakah. وَالْمُوفُونَ بِأَهْدِهِمْ إِذَا عَاهَدُوا, and the one that fulfills a promise when they make a promise. وَالصَّابِرِينَ فِي الْبَأْسَاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ, and those who persevere and who have patience and fortitude in harm and affliction. وَحِينَ الْبَأْسِ, and the time of difficulty. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا, those are the truthful ones. And look at the end there. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُتَّقُونَ, and those people, they are the people of Taqwa. So Allah says this is bir. Bir is all those things. And people who do all of these things, they believe in Allah, believe in the messengers, in the angels, in the books, they give to the poor, they establish prayer, they fulfill their promises. These people who have sabr, these people, ulaika humul muttaqun, they are the true people of taqwa. You with me? So we're remembering two words there. We're remembering bir and taqwa, and we're remembering in verse number 177, we have a long list, a long explanation of what bir is, and that bir actually amounts to taqwa. Then Allah says in the next verse, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykum. So does that sound familiar? It sounds familiar because it's the same as the verse that's coming, but here Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykumul qisasu fil qatla. So ajib. So in the same expression as the ayat of fasting, Allah says, O you who believe, has been written, prescribed, ordained upon you al-qisas, retributory punishment, fil qatla, in cases of murder. So this means that people, believers, will have qisas. If someone has murdered your family member, you will have the right, obviously through the state, to take that person's life. You with me? This is the law of Islam, obviously through the proper judicial means and so on. Okay. So Allah is speaking about qisas here. And Allah says, this has been ordained upon you. I won't go to the whole verse. I want to go to the next verse, verse number 179. Allah says, وَلَكُمْ فِي الْقِصَاصِ حَيَاتٌ. Allah says, and for you believers, there is in qisas. When someone commits a murder, you have the right to take that person's life, or to forgive them, or to take the blood money, but you have the right to take their life. In that, there is hayat. There is life. So it's a strange thing to say, why is there death in life, or life in death? Because very simply, if you have a member of society that is causing egregious harm to a society, causing extreme harm to society by killing members of a society, it is better for society's life and better for the preservation of that society's life to remove that member from society. Because then the member can stop causing harm and death. So in qisas there is justice and there is also life. The point I want to focus on here is وَلَكُمْ فِي الْقِصَصِ حَيَاتٌ يَا أُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. So again we have the link between kutiba, something has been prescribed upon you in order that you may have taqwa. You're following the pattern. In this case, and all the ulama will agree upon this, is that no individual has the right to take qisas on your own when there's a system of law in a country. So in other words, this taqwa is an expression of taqwa at a state level or at a nation state level. You with me? You can't take qisas on your own. You can't go hunt someone down and kill them because they killed your family member, because you have a nation of laws. So this qisas, applying this, is a manifestation of taqwa at a nation state level. Next one. Kutiba. Can you see again we have the verse, the word kutiba. The same word, and these are called in the Quran, these are called textual anchors, where Allah Ta'ala repeats a certain word or phrasing to tie parts together. Kutiba alaykum idha hadara ahadakumul maut. It is prescribed upon you if any one of you is at the point of death. In taraka khayran il wasiyatu lil walidaini wal aqrabin bil ma'ruf haqqan ala al muttaqin. It speaks about wasiyah and inheritance. I won't go into the details, but at the end of that Allah says haqqan, it is a duty alal, upon the muttaqin, the people of taqwa. It is a duty for you to sort out your inheritance and to give wasiyah to the if you're able to give wasiyah. This is an expression of taqwa, to sort out your inheritance, to give to your family when you've passed away, is an expression of taqwa. And again we have kutiba, and again we have taqwa, and this is an expression of taqwa at the family or the community or the social level. You with me? Qisas is expression of taqwa at the state level. And then the laws of inheritance are expressions of taqwa at the family and community level. And then after that we have يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. Now we have something which is prescribed, which is fasting is prescribed for you to attain taqwa at the individual level. So can you see how we've moved from state to family to the individual? The taqwa is now required from you on an individual level. And then Allah discusses the laws of fasting. In the middle of the laws of fasting, there's an ayah that doesn't do with fasting, it has to do with dua, and the fact that Allah is close and Allah will respond to your call. And at the end of the ayat of fasting, there is a verse about couples and relationships. Hunna libasul lakum wa antum libasul lahun, speaking about relationship development as part of fasting. As part of fasting. And we discussed it in the previous nasiha. Then, and I want to end with this part of the page, because it's just when you start looking at the Quran at the macro thematic level, it's mind-blowing. Then Allah says at the end, after the verse, and let me just end here quickly. The last phrase of the fasting verses is كَذَلِكَ, like that, the end of verse number 187. كَذَلِكَ, like that. يُبَيِّنُ اللَّهُ, Allah clarifies ayatihi, His verses, linnasi, to people, لَعَلَّهُمْ, in order that they yattaqoon, in order that they may have taqwa. You with me? So at the end of the verse of fasting, Allah again brings us back to the theme of taqwa. Then Allah says, وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَكُمْ بَيْنَكُمْ بِالْبَاطِلِ وَتُدْلُوا بِهَا إِلَى الْحُكَّامِ تَأْكُلُوا فَرِيقًا مِنْ أَمْوَالِ النَّاسِ بِالْإِثْمِ وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. We spoke about this last week, that after the verse of fasting, the immediate next verse is going to be, do not consume wealth unjustly between yourself. وَتُدْلُوا بِهَا إِلَى الْحُكَّامِ, do not bribe people, do not seek favors through monetary benefit from people, so that you may consume people's wealth in sin. Saying what? That the effect of this personal taqwa and this relationship taqwa is that you should have your business dealings in order. Last part. يسألونك عن الأهلة قل هي مواقيت للناس والحج. They ask you about the crescent and the moon and how the moon changes. قل, say to them, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and you can see here يسألونك, you have a قل. Here, say Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, هي مواقيت للناس, it is a means of people holding time and measuring time. والحج, it's a means of determining Hajj. Listen carefully. وَلَيْسَ الْبِرُّ. Did the word bir come before? Yes. Allah says bir is not to turn your face to the east and the west, but bir is that long list. Again Allah comes back to the theme of bir, and Allah says وَلَيْسَ الْبِرُّ بِأَن تَأْتُوا الْبُيُوتَ مِنْ ظُهُورِهَا. It is not bir piety that you may enter a house from the back door instead of the front door. There are two tafsirs about this. I'll give you one tafsir about it. One tafsir about this is that it's an expression that when you enter a house from the back door, it means that you are not straight in your business dealings. It means you're doing things by hook and by crook. And when you're entering a house with the front door, it's an expression that you are doing things properly and uprightly and justly. So from the one tafsir of this, it is not bir that you do things in the incorrect and in an unjust manner. وَلَكِنَّ الْبِرَّ, but bir, look at this part of the verse. وَلَكِنَّ الْبِرَّ مَنِ اتَّقَى. But being good and having goodness is مَنِ اتَّقَى, is someone who has taqwa. Did we link bir and taqwa before? Yes. On the previous page Allah says bir is this whole long list of things, and that bir is taqwa. That's the detailed exposition. At the end of this, Allah says here, bir is taqwa in a very concise way. But bir is taqwa. وَأْتُوا الْبُيُوتَ مِنْ أَبْوَابِهَا. So enter the house from the front door, meaning what? Be straight and be upright in the way you deal with people. Allah ends, Allah says, وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ, and have taqwa of Allah in order that you may be successful. The last thing I want to speak about here is the next verse, the next 2 verses. Then Allah says, وَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا. And fight in the path of Allah those who fight you. So in other words, a believer or the Muslims are, when other people want to show aggression and want to show hostility and violence, Islam allows you to respond. But Allah says at the end, وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا, and do not transgress the boundaries. In other words, the law of self-defense, which is applicable to all nations. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُعْتَدِينَ. Allah doesn't love those who transgress. At the end of this verse, and there's a long verse about fighting in the path of Allah Ta'ala. At the end of this verse, Allah says, on the end of verse number 194, which is the conclusion of the verses of fighting in the path of Allah Ta'ala, Allah says, وَاعْلَمُوا, know, أَنَّ اللَّهَ, that Allah is مَعَ الْمُتَّقِينَ, is Allah is with the people of taqwa. Again, so even defending your state and defending your society, defending your country is an expression of taqwa, and Allah is with the people of taqwa. So why did I mention all of this? I mention all of this because all of these things show us expressions of taqwa at different levels. Expressions of taqwa at a state level, when it comes to qisas, when it comes to jihad and fighting in the path of Allah Ta'ala. Expressions of taqwa at a family level, when it comes to sorting out your inheritance, in terms of having a good relationship with your spouse. In taqwa in terms of yourself, which is the essence of it. And the essence of that is what? Is that you have taqwa with yourself, and one of the main ways to achieve that taqwa is through this month of Ramadan. It's a return to submission to Allah Ta'ala. It's a return to having taqwa. And in the middle of that In the middle of that whole framework is one verse on وَإِذَا سَأْلَكِ عِبَادِ أَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ, is that for all of these things, you turn to Allah Ta'ala. You turn to Allah Ta'ala. When my slave asks of me, I am close. أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ, I will respond to the call of the caller if he calls me. So when you look at the Quran at the macro picture, you start looking at the themes and how the concepts tie together, and how even the words bir, taqwa, kutiba tie together, the expression becomes even more powerful, and your understanding even becomes more comprehensive. I want to end and say that at the ends of the verse of fasting, there are 3 things mentioned here. And we use this as our takeaway message. Number 1, Allah says that after the verse of fasting, there are 3 things mentioned here. Number 1 is لا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل. Number 1 is do not consume your wealth between you unjustly. Make the niyyah in Ramadan that Allah must bless you in your rizq. Allah must give you abundant rizq, enough for you and your family and to live comfortably. And make the niyyah that you will never ever use your wealth unjustly. You will never ever defraud someone. You will never ever harm someone with your wealth. And as I mentioned last time, if we have a lot and someone else has a little and someone else is struggling, that person has a right over our wealth, and we will not harm them by withholding our wealth from them. Number 1. Number 2, the second thing Allah mentions is وَأْتُوا الْبُيُوتَ مِنْ أَبْوَابِهَا, that enter a house through your front door. Meaning what? Be upright in the way you conduct yourself. Be upright in the way you interact with people. Be upright in your character. Be upright in your dealings. This is the way of the believer. We are upright and we are straight and we are honest and we are just. And number 3, that there is a struggle. There is a battle. وَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ. And there's no need now for a physical fight. But there is an intellectual battle. There's a battle of the worldview. There's a battle for your soul. There are people who are invading the believers and trying to steal their soul. By what? By offering up the dunya and saying, yeah, take the dunya instead of the akhirah. Part of the conclusion of the verses of fasting is that a believer is one that not only just maintains the iman and maintains the taqwa, the believer is the one who وَقَاتِلُوا is a fi'l. The believer is the one that's going to strive together to overcome evil and to spread good. This is the conclusion of the verses of fasting. So make a niyyah. Make a niyyah that you will be part of the fight for good. And again, not a physical fight. It's a fight for the battle of the heart and the battle of the mind. There's a fight for economic justice. There's a fight for equality and for fairness to people. This is the fight we have now. Because we have a what? We have a world that is completely drowned in materialism. We have a world that is drowned in greed. We have a world that is drowned in unjust, structural inequalities and structural injustice. This is the fight that we have. Make the niyyah that your fasting is not just for yourself, not just for your family, it is for the entire community. This is your struggle. Okay. So I leave you with that. And I make dua, inshallah, Allah will give us the tawfiq, the ability for us to fulfill this amana, this responsibility, that we may be fair in our dealings, we may be upright in the way we deal with people, and we may be part of the good fight, inshallah ta'ala. May Allah bless you all this Ramadan in the last few remaining days. Seek Laylatul Qadr in these last few remaining nights. Turn to Allah earnestly in dua. There's not the time to rest now. Don't rest at the finish line. Don't rest. The finishing line is there of Ramadan. Don't stop your journey. Keep journeying and journeying hard towards the finish line, because this is the end now. This is the end. This is like, where you get that sweetness, and you'll find really, wallahi, I make dua that we all experience this, is as we get into Ramadan more and more, and the more days we fast, and the more Quran we read, and the more we turn to Allah Ta'ala, the more what happens is our heart actually starts becoming really attached to it. At first it's a struggle to read every day, make tarawih every day. And as we do it more and more, our hearts get more and more attached to it. May Allah attach our hearts to Him. Allahu Amin. May Allah guide our hearts. Allahu Amin. May Allah accept all your du'as. May Allah protect you and your family through these difficult times. We turn to Allah, we beseech Him for His protection. And most of all, may Allah save us in this dunya and save us most importantly in the akhirah. And grant us Jannatul Firdaus. Allahu Amin. My final appeal is just that with regard to some of the outreach projects that we are running, alhamdulillah, we're active with the projects, and we with the in-light projects, alhamdulillah, we have helped many families, inshallah. But we will be also launching an appeal for students and the public to contribute monthly. So one of the main focuses that in-light focuses on is on NGOs and madrasas, but we specifically focus on those madrasas that don't have a social network to support them. So mashallah, you get madrasas that have websites and have marketing videos and have lovely flyers and brochures, and they're able to appeal to the public. Inlight specifically focuses on those madrasas that are in the township areas, in the poorest of the poor areas, that are struggling with the basic of basics. We try to reach out to those madrasas and support them monthly. Alhamdulillah, we have a number. I think we support at the moment in various ways, up to I think 15 or 17 madrasas at the moment. They range from Seawinds to Bonteheuwel to Khayelitsha to Esterrivier to Malmesbury. We have a number of madrasas, and we do need support monthly to continue our projects, because we like to expand and help more and help develop these madrasas and support them financially and give them training and stationery and textbooks and feeding schemes and so on. This is part of institutional building. It's part of our qatilu fi sabilillah. It's part of the struggle and the fight in the path of Allah Ta'ala, is to give our young Muslims a good education and to support our institutions. So we will be launching we will be appealing to the public for a monthly contribution, inshallah, even 100, 200 or 300 rand. It helps us to be sustainable, to help others. And may Allah accept all the good work that's being done. May Allah accept your generosity and your contributions. Make it a source of barakah with your family. And we will see you, inshallah, in 2 weeks' time. And Eid Mubarak for you when the time comes, inshallah ta'ala. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We'll have a 3-minute break, and then we'll continue with second year, inshallah ta'ala.
إله إلا الله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله عليه صلاة الله قد أتانا في الأخبار عن المصطفى المختار أن أفضل الأذكار لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله عليه صلاة الله هي شفاء الصدور هي نور على نور ذكر ربك الغفور لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله عليه صلاة الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله عليه صلاة الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله عليه صلاة الله بها يثبت الإيمان بها يحصل الأمان كرر أيها الإنسان لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala ashrafil mursaleen Sayyidina wa Habibina Maulana Muhammadin sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa barik wa sallim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay. So, Bismillah, welcome to the second years, Dawra years, third years, mashallah, mashallah. I pray that you and your families are well, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, and that you are making the most of the last few days of Ramadan, inshallah. What's the time now? It's 22 almost. We can start with Sarf, second year Sarf in our. Is that what I copy here? Oh, I think I gave you the wrong document here. Okay, but it's fine, inshallah. Let's just do some revision of our scales first of all, and we'll just focus on the new scale. Okay, so Bismillah, whether you're at home or wherever you are, I'd like you to say the scales out loud. That's going to be the only way that you are going to learn them. So say the scales out loud, and that's how you're going to learn them, inshallah. So we can do the fa'ala. We'll just do maybe say 2 or 3 of each bab. So fa'ala, Bismillah. Fa'ala yufa'ilu taf'ilan mufa'ilun mufa'alun. Fa'il la tufa'il. Again. فعل يفعل تفعيلا مفعل مفعل فعل لا تفعل نزل نزل ينزل تنزيلا منزل منزل نزل لا تنزل نزل نزل ينزل تنزيلا منزل منزل نزل لا تنزل كذب كذب يكذب تكذيبا مكذب مكذب كذب لا تكذب again كذب يكذب تكذيبا مكذب مكذب كذب لا تكذب. That's the second bab. Third bab فاعل. بسم الله. فاعل يفاعل فعالا مفاعل مفاعل فاعل لا تفاعل again فاعل يفاعل فعالا مفاعل مفاعل فاعل لا تفاعل جاهد جاهد يجاهد جهادا مجاهد مجاهد جاهد لا تجاهد again جاهد يجاهد جهادا مجاهد مجاهد جاهد لا تجاهد قاتل قاتل يقاتل قتالا مقاتل مقاتل قاتل لا تقاتل. Now we go to the fourth bab. Now this is not first year, this is second year and above. So this is second year and above. So if you're first year, don't stress, you'll get here next year inshallah. This is for second year and above. Then bab number 4, which is the most common bab in the Quran, af'ala. Bismillah. Af'ala yuf'ilu if'alan muf'ilun muf'alun. Af'il la tuf'il. Again. Af'ala yuf'ilu if'alan muf'ilun muf'alun. Af'il la tuf'il. Anzala. Keep practicing with me. The more you say it, even if you can't say it from memory, if you can just read it. If you can say it fluently, it's going to help you. Anzala. أنزل ينزل إنزالا منزل منزل أنزل لا تنزل أرسل أرسل يرسل إرسالا مرسل مرسل أرسل لا ترسل أسلم أسلم يسلم إسلاما مسلم مسلم أسلم لا تسلم أحسن أحسن يحسن إحسانا محسن محسن أحسن لا تحسن أنفق أنفق ينفق إنفاقا منفق منفق أنفق لا تنفق أشرك أشرك يشرك excuse me إشراكا مشرك مشرك أشرك لا تشرك. And then we come to the new bab, and for some reason I gave you the whole document instead of just the one, but I'll just give it to you again inshallah. But the new bab is tafa'ala, and your homework was to, let me just say this properly, your homework was to write out all the scales and Okay, let me just go like that. Your homework was to write out the scales with translation. So I don't know if you managed, but Bismillah, let's just start. So the new scale is tafa'ala. Before I go there, I actually want us to read together what the quality of this verb is. What is the quality of this verb? So I'll go through this book again here. It's quite useful, this book, so let's go through it here. And we go to verb number 5. Form number 5. I made a start with the Sarf textbook in first year. So inshallah the momentum is there. So even the second year, inshallah, you'll get your Sarf textbook soon, inshallah ta'ala. So form number 5 is tafa'ala. Don't worry about the table. Look at their points to note. They say number 1, tafa'ala is the reflexive form of fa'ala. Here the action relates back to the doer. Okay, so in simple terms, on the second verb, what is the quality? Can someone answer me this so I can just know that you're all with me? On the second verb, what's the quality of the second verb? What's the quality of the second verb? The quality of the second verb. So it's the Nuran, mashallah. So the Jawaya. Who else is here? Say hello at least, or that you're there. Brother Yasin, mashallah. Sarah, mashallah. So at least, I feel very alone sitting here in this room all by myself. And the rest of you? Are you still there? Okay. So the quality of the second verb. A number of qualities, but the main quality I want to focus on is causation. It also has intensification, but is causation. So if we look at the second, remember we're studying the fifth verb now, right? So we're comparing the fifth to the second. On the second verb, allama, second verb. Allama means what? It means to teach, but literally it means to cause ilm, knowledge, to someone else. Let me say it again. Allama is causation to someone else. It is to cause knowledge to someone else. Okay, you agree with me? If I come to the fifth verb in a simple way, the quality of the fifth verb. Walaikum salam, Brother Ziyad. The quality of the fifth verb is to cause something for yourself. Say it again. The quality of the second verb is to cause something for someone else. The quality of the fifth verb is often, not all the time, but it's often to cause something to yourself. Therefore it's called reflexive, like it reflects back on you. Are you with me? I prefer to just say it's causation for yourself. So the fifth verb is basically causation for yourself. So ta'allama means what? What does ta'allama mean? Besides to learn, what does ta'allama mean? To cause what? What does ta'allama mean? So allama means to cause knowledge to someone else, and therefore ta'allama means what? To cause knowledge for yourself. For yourself. And causing knowledge for yourself means to learn. To learn. You with me? So ta'allama means to cause knowledge for yourself. Farraqa. Farraqa means to separate something or someone else. Farraqa means to separate something else. I can separate two groups of chairs or separate a group of people. That's farraqa. Tafarraqa means to cause separation for yourself is to become separated. Tafarraqa. So generally with the ummah we try to avoid tafarraqa. We try to avoid separation within the ummah. Fassaha. Fassaha means to make space. Make space. Make space to something or something in like in the room or something, you're making space. But tafassaha, fifth bab, means to yourself to become spacious. Like yourself, like to move up and to become spacious. Okay, so that's going to be the quality of this bab. Here's an example here. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكُمْ تَفَسَّحُوا فِي الْمَجَالِسِ. And when it is said to you, تَفَسَّحُوا, become spacious, make room in the assemblies. Then he has a second quality here, verbs made from nouns. Ithmun ta'athama, to shun away from sin. I'm not exactly sure what this quality actually means. Verbs made from nouns. It's just basically saying that there's a word ithm, and you can make that word into a noun. Okay, number 3 is an interesting one here. Number 3 says that one of the qualities of the fifth bab is to indicate gradual action. So, jara'a means to swallow, and tajarra'a means to drink something sip by sip. يتجرعه, he will drink it little by little. ولا يكاد يسيغه, and he will almost not be able to swallow it. So it means something which is done in gradually. And then number 4, as with most babs, sometimes the meaning is completely new. For example, kalima on the first bab means to injure, and takallama means to speak. Yes, you can maybe make some meaning but correction there, but it's generally going to be a new meaning. Sadaqa means to speak the truth, and tasaddaqa means to give charity. So that's also going to be a new meaning. Okay. So there's some examples. We have all examples from the Quran. Okay. So just to summarize, the main quality I want you to memorize about this bab is that in this bab, the quality is causation to yourself. Not always, but most times. Okay. So let's go. Tafa'ala. Let's say the bab a few times. Tafa'ala. So it's a new bab, so let's practice inshallah. We'll say each one twice. Tafa'ala, bismillah. Tafa'ala. Yatafa'alu tafa'ulan mutafa'ilun mutafa'alun. Tafa'al la tatafa'al. Again. Tafa'ala yatafa'alu tafa'ulan mutafa'ilun mutafa'alun. Tafa'al la tatafa'al. Tafakkara, and tafakkara means he thought. Tafakkara yatafakkaru tafakkuran mutafakkirun mutafakkarun. Tafakkar la tatafakkar. Again. Tafakkara yatafakkaru tafakkuran mutafakkirun mutafakkarun. Tafakkar la tatafakkar. So it's useful. You want to see the connection. To see the ease, you go to fakara and you see if there's a connection. It looks the same as the first bab in this case here. Fakara yafkuru or yafkiru means to reflect, to meditate and so on. Whereas the fourth bab, it also means, or the fifth bab here, it means to reflect, to meditate, revolve in one's mind, to think over, contemplate. So it looks the same, very similar there to the first bab. Let's do tadhakkara. Tadhakkara yatadhakkaru tadhakkuran mutadhakkirun mutadhakkarun. Tadhakkar la tatadhakkar. Again. Tadhakkara yatadhakkaru tadhakkuran mutadhakkirun mutadhakkarun. Tadhakkar la tatadhakkar. So dhakara on the first bab, dhakara means to remember. And on the fifth bab, it means to remember, to bear in mind, to think of something. I also like to think of tadhakkara is to also to cause yourself to remember. Tadhakkara means to cause yourself to remember as well. Next one, tawakkala. Tawakkala yatawakkalu tawakkulan mutawakkilun mutawakkalun. Tawakkal la tatawakkal. Again. Tawakkala yatawakkalu tawakkulan mutawakkilun mutawakkalun. Tawakkal la tatawakkal. So wakala. So Ziyad asking, can tafassahu be used for self-isolation or quarantine? Not really self-isolation, that's more like khalwa. Tafassahu is just to make space basically. Just like to move up and make space. So wakala on the first bar means to entrust, to ensign. And tawakkala means to be appointed as an agent. Or it means to take upon oneself, to take something upon yourself, like to entrust something to yourself. So Bismillah. Ta'allama. Ta'allama yata'allamu ta'alluman muta'allimun muta'allamun ta'allam la tata'allam. Again. Ta'allama yata'allamu ta'alluman muta'allimun muta'allamun ta'allam la tata'allam. Let's go to each one individually. Ta'allama means he learnt. He learnt. Yata'allamu means what? He is learning. He is causing knowledge to himself. The master is ta'alluman, which means learning. Muta'allimun ismu fa'il is the one who causes knowledge to himself, the learner. Whereas the second bab, mu'allimun, is the one who causes knowledge to others, in other words, the teacher. So if you are all students, you are all muta'allimun. Muta'allimun. A muta'allamun is the one that which is learnt. Ta'allam, learn. La tata'allam, don't learn. Tarabbasa, bismillah. It means he waited. Tarabbasa. Tarabbasa yatarabbasu tarabbusan mutarabbisun mutarabbasun. Tarabbas, la tatarabbas. And tabayyana. Tabayyana yatabayyanu tabayyunan mutabayyinun mutabayyanun. Tabayyan, la tatabayyan. So practice those babs, inshallah. But for homework, and you have 2 weeks to do your homework, because next week there's no class. Next week there's Eid, inshallah. So you have 2 weeks to do your homework. So what you need to do for homework is this document here, Mazid fi from the Quran. Okay, so basically you're going to, again, what's the bab, what's the naw, is fa'il, ismu, fi'l maldi, fi'l mudari, and so on. What's the translation? نفصل الآيات لقوم يتفكرون. نفصل, second bab, فصل يفصل. We explain in detail الآيات, the verses, لقوم, to people, يتفكرون. يتفكرون is what of the fifth bab? It's fifth bab, or what of the fifth bab? The first there, fa'ils appear to have a kasra on the third harf instead of a fatha. Let's go back and see what's happening there. It is the mudari'is. Let me just see what's happening here. Mutafa'ilun. There's a mistake in some of these two here. I must fix it here. It's not mutafikkirun, it's mutafakkirun, yeah. So where the mouse is here, tafakkara, tafakkaru, tafakkuran, mutafakkirun. Actually, rather just fix it now. So otherwise I'll forget. I think this is the right one, yeah. Okay. So I think I made a few mistakes here. Let me just go to the fifth bab. This here must be tafakkuran. The ismu fa'il is mutafakkirun. Mutafakkirun. Mutafakkarun, that. Mutadhakkirun. Mutadhakkirun. متوكل متوكل، متعلم متعلم، متربص متربص، متبين متبين. Okay, that should be right. Okay, I just want to fix the document quickly. Okay, let's go back to your. It is the fi'l mudari because it's tafakkara, yatafakkaruna, and it means that they are thinking, they are able to think. So for homework, inshallah, I would like you to do this for homework. You have 2 weeks to do this. Inshallah. Okay. This is your homework. Bab number 5. And also when you come across the bab, like tafakkara, say the bab again. Tafakkara, yatafakkaru, tafakkuran, mutafakkiru, mutafakkarun, tafakkar, la tatafakkar. Say the scale so you're able to practice it, inshallah. Okay. Good. We'll do quick nahu, maybe just 5 minutes, and then we'll go on to hadith, inshallah. So let's take out our nahu. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wassalatu wassalamu rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi man wala. We are going through the Nahu 2 textbook, and I think we've reached now to the 1.3, the Khabar, the types of Khabar. So for those of you who are Dawraya and above, you would have done this before. And for those of you who are second year, you will be able to, this will be new to you. It's new to you. So let's go through it. I'll just introduce it now, and then we'll do hadith shortly afterwards, inshallah. So it says here, every jumlatul ismiya, every jumlatul ismiya must have a mubtada and a khabar. So the first thing is that every jumlatul fi'liya must have a mubtada and must have a khabar. For example, ar-rajulu tawilun means what? Ar-rajulu, the man, tawilun is tall. Ar-rajulu is the focus of the sentence. It normally has an al at the beginning. It's in rafan all the time. And tawilun is the news or information about the focus. So Jumatul Ismiya is something. There's a focus and there's news about it. Okay. Now, the khabar we learnt in first year is that we learnt the one word khabar. So today we're going to do some of the other types of khabar as well. So again, if you're second year, this is new to you. And if you Dawra year or above, Dawra third year and above, you've done this before. But let's just summarize again. The first one says, Ar-rajulu, which is the focus of the sentence, the mubtada. So look at number 1 here. Ar-rajulu. Tawilun is tall. So that is a one word khabar. That's a one word khabar. And when it's a one word khabar, if you look carefully, a one word khabar, you'll always see the word in raf'un. You'll see the word in raf'un. For example, tawilun is a one word khabar. Or it could be like this: ar-rajulu imamul masjidi. Ar-rajulu imamu. What's the meaning of imamul masjid? What type of construction is that? What's the translation of imamul masjid? And what's the meaning of imamul masjid? Are you still with me? Imam means a leader, an imam. And masjid we know. So this here can see the Imam there is light. And masjid is jar. So Imam al-Masjid is the Imam, the leader of the masjid. So if I say ar-rajulu Imam al-Masjid, it will be the man is the leader or the Imam of the masjid. So what do I say here? The Imam, that word the Imam, that's the Khabar. And masjid is mudafun ilay, it's connected to the Khabar, but that's the Imam there is the Khabar, and this masjid is connected to it because mudafun ilay. So this will also be a one word Khabar. Okay, so let me just summarize. A one word Khabar is where you can see the Khabar in Raf'un. As simple as that. You can see the Khabar in Raf'un. Okay. Then, you get 4 situations where you can't see the Khabar. So it's going to be new. You get 4 situations where you can't see the Khabar. Therefore it says, no, yeah, it says on the end here, no visible Khabar in Raf'un. The construction takes the place of the Khabar. You can't see the Khabar. For example, it says, Ar-rajulu fil bayti. Ar-rajulu fil bayti. I translate this as what? The man is. So this is still mubtada. There is to say I'm coming to my khabar. And the khabar here, there's no one word in raf'un. Fil bayti is takes the place of the khabar. And what is fil bayti? Fi is what? Fi is a harful jar. And bayt is what? An ismul majroor. So the harful jar and the ismul majroor takes the place of the khabar. So you with me? So this is new for some of you and not new for some others. So this is very common. Because this is still a full sentence. Ar-rajulu fil bayti is still a full sentence. But you can't see the khabar. You can't see one word in raf'un. So we say ar-rajulu is the focus, and I ask you give me news about ar-rajulu. The news is that the man is in the house, and in the house is the khabar, is the information. Leave number 3. I'll just say it, but you don't know whatever number 3. Ar-rajulu amam al-bayti. Amam means not imam. Amam means in front of the house. This is the man is in front of the house. We haven't done it before, but it's a type of khabar. But leave it for now. The one I want you to focus on now is number 4. Ar-rajulu nasara al-walada. What's the meaning of nasara al-walada? Nasara al-walada means he helped the boy. This is a jumlatul fi'liya. The fa'il is the huwa inside there. So this here is actually he helped the boy. If I say ar-rajulu nasara al-walada, it means the man helped the boy. We don't call this rajul here the fa'il, because the fa'il can only be eli, in, left or in, not rely for right, only eli, in, left or in. So this here is the mubtada. Ar-rajul is the mubtada. If I ask you, give me news about ar-rajulu, what will you say? The news about the man is what? Is that he helped the boy. And this construction is actually a verbal sentence, a jumlatul fi'liya, and it takes the place of the khabar. It takes the place of the khabar. And the last one, number 5, is a bit difficult, but let's just do it quickly. Ummuhu tawilatun. Ar-rajulu ummuhu tawilatun. Ummuhu means his mother. Tawilatun is tall. This is a jumla. Ummuhu tawilatun means his mother is tall. That's a jumlatul ismiya. Is the mubtada and tawila is the khabar. That's the jumlatul ismiya. If I say ar-rajulu ummuhu tawilatun, it translates as the man, comma, like who or whose mother is tall. The man, what about the man? His mother is tall. The man, comma, his mother is tall. So there's a strange one here because ar-rajulu is the mubtada. Then ummuhu tawilatun is a jumlatul ismiya, mubtada khabar, and the whole jumla takes the place of the khabar. The whole jumla takes the place of the khabar. Okay, that was fairly quick fairly quick, but the main ones to focus here is on number 2, fil bayti, and number 4. That's going to be the main ones. Don't worry about 3 and 5 so much. The one is to focus on 2 and to focus on 4. Okay. So your homework. Let's just do a few together. We can do the first 5 together. Okay, the first 5 is actually too easy. You can do the first 5 for homework. You can do them all for homework, inshallah, but let's just do number 8. وَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. Who wants to translate number 8 for me? Translate number 8. شَعْرَ يَشْعُرُ means to feel or perceive. How do you translate number 8? And what type of khabar is it? Where's the mubtada? Where's the khabar? I must mention also that whom means them. So whom it will be the mubtada, because them we're referring to a specific definite group of people, and that whom is in raf'un even though you can't see it because the whom is always fixed. So whom is the mubtada. وَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. وَهُمْ and they لَا يَشْعُرُونَ, they do not perceive. What type of khabar is this? Of that 5, the list of 5, what type of khabar is this? Okay, so remember, if it's one word, you must be able to see an ism in raf'un. If it's a one word khabar, you must be able to see an ism in raf'un. So if I ask you to give me news about whom, what's the news about whom? The news about whom is la yash'urun, they are unable to perceive. So what type of khabar is that? A jumlatul hafsash. Okay, jazakallah khair. So la yash'urun is going to be a jumlatul fi'liya, because yash'uru is the verb and una is the fa'il. They are perceiving. La yash'uruna, they are not perceiving, or they do not perceive. Therefore la yash'urun is going to be a jumlatul fi'liya in the place of the khabar. Okay, good. Next one. Wa huwa min al-kadhibin. Translation, and what type of khabar is this? Number 10. Wa huwa min al-kadhibin. Translation, and what type of khabar is it? وهو من الكاذبين. So وهو, and he is min al-kadhibin. So huwa is the focus of the sentence, and min al-kadhibin is the khabar giving news about huwa. He is from the liars. What type of khabar is it? It's min al-kadhibin. It's a harful jar and ism majroor khabar. Okay, let's do number 13, difficult one. Number 13. الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب. الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب. So what is the translation? Number 1, and what type of khabar is it? So when you're thinking about this, you must ask you, what is the focus of the sentence, and what is the news about the focus? So I'm asking you, what's the translation and what type of khabar is this? Because it's the long one now, so you must choose now which one is the khabar. Alhamdulillahi alladhi anzala ala abdil kitab. And a very easy way when you're translating is to think about what is the khabar, is to see what comes after is. That's going to be the khabar is the after is thing. After is the khabar. So if I ask the question, the mubtada, I hope you all agree, is alhamdu, is all praise. What is the news Allah is giving me about all praise? What's the news? All praise is what? The mubtada is alhamdu. All praise is what? Alhamdu lillahi. All praise lillahi is for Allah. So after is the khabar. So alhamdu, all praise is for Allah. So lillahi is going to be the khabar. Lillahi is going to be the khabar. The li harfu jar and the word Allah lafzul jalala is going to be the ism majroor. So that lillahi is a harfu jar and then ismul majroor. That's going to be the news about alhamdu. Then you're going to ask, what about alladhi anzala ala abdihi al-kitab? Alladhi anzala ala abdihi al-kitab is giving you more news or information about Allah, not about alhamdu. In other words, this alladhi anzala ala abdihi al-kitab is all linked to the word Allah. What about this Allah? He is the one that sent down upon his slaves the book. So the word Allah is not the khabar. Lillahi. Lillahi. Li harfu jar. Allah lafzul jalala is the khabar. Lillahi is the khabar. And lillahi li bitawa lika. Li is harfu jar and the word Allah is ism majroor. So that takes the place of the khabar. Alladhi generally is always going to be just information or like a description about the thing before it. Most times or oftentimes. Okay, with me? So, alhamdulillah is the mubtada and the khabar, and alladhi anzala abdil kitab is just giving you a description about who this Allah is. Which Allah is this? The one that sent down upon his slaves the book. It's a difficult one. This is another difficult one, number 16. Let's do some challenging ones. Antum qawmum musrifun. Qawm is a people and musrifun is a people who are like extravagant or excessive. So what is the translation, number 1? And where's the khabar? What type of khabar is it? It's actually a very easy one. Antum qawmun musrifun. So antum is the focus of the sentence. All of you. All of you what? The thing after is the khabar. Antum qawmun musrifun. You are a people. Musrifun, a transgressing people. An extravagant people. Like a wasteful people. Musrifun. Antum qawmun musrifun. So qawmun is the khabar, it's a one with the khabar, and musrifun is just a sifa for qawmun. It's just describing qawmun. So the answer there is the qawmun is the khabar, and that's just a sifa for it. This is number 19. Nahnu khalaqnakum. Nahnu khalaqnakum. Translation. Again, nahnu is going to be a pronoun. Nahnu means we. You can't see the raf on there because nahnu stays nahnu with its raf nas jar, it stays nahnu. So nahnu means we. Khalaqnakum. Translation. Khalaqnakum. We have created you. We created you. What's the focus of the sentence? The focus of the sentence is nahnu. What's the news about nahnu? Khalaqnakum, that we created you. What type of khabar is that? What type of khabar is that? It's a jumlatul fi'liya khabar. Okay. We'll do the... Okay, I think we'll stop there inshallah. This is going to be maybe a bit challenging for you, especially if it's your first time, but you have to get into this. This is one of the most important lessons. In fact, one day if you're back in the masjid inshallah again, I'll do it again in the second year because it's so important. We'll do it in person as well. This is one of the most important lessons that you need to do as part of your Arabic development is the types of khabar. The types of khabar. So, for homework inshallah, try number, the whole one, 1 to 24. What you must do is you must translate it and try to identify where the khabar is and what type of khabar it is. Okay. And remember, the khabar is a thing coming after is or are. You see, what comes after is or are is harfu jar, is a sentence, a jumatul fi'liya, is it one word. That is going to be the khabar. Okay. All good. If you're a little bit confused, okay, don't stress too much. It is a bit of a tough lesson. Our next lesson is going to be Hadith. So the Hadith should be in your WhatsApp as well. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man wala. Our Hadith lesson, Alhamdulillah, 40 Hadith. We will first explain the new Hadith and then we will memorize it and then we will do our back lessons, our previous Hadith as we have done before. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is Hadithul Hadi Ashara. Hadi Ashara. Hadi is like Wahid and Ashara is like 10 and 1 plus 10 is 11. So Hadi Ashara means the 11th Hadith. The 11th Hadith that we are doing. So it says An Sahl ibn Mu'adhin, from Sahl ibn Mu'adh al-Juhani, An, from Abihi, his father was the Sahabi, from the father of Sahl ibn Mu'adh, Anna, that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam qal, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, bit hadith, Man qara al-Qur'ana wa amila bima fihi ulbisa walidahu tajan yawm al-qiyamati. Okay, it's a 2-line hadith, but you can even memorize even half of it if you're unable to do the whole one. The Prophet ﷺ says in this beautiful hadith, Man, whoever, qara'a means what? Whoever reads, has read or reads, al-Qur'ana, Qur'ana maf'ulun bihi, whoever reads the Qur'an, wa, and amila, amila means to act, and he acts, the fa'il is the huwa inside, wa amila, bima, wa that which is fihi, in it, that which is in it. So the condition here is that you have to be a reader of the Quran, someone who recites the Quran. Number 2 is that you have to be wa amila bima fihi, and he acts bima, with that which is fihi, in it. Ulbisa, tough one. Which word do you know? What are the root letters there? Which word do you know? That's similar to that one. What are the root letters of ulbisa? I can ask you what babat is, but it's quite tough. What babat is? What are the root letters? What does it mean? What similar words do you know? So the root letters are lam, ba, sin. Lam, ba, sin. So hopefully you know lam, ba, sin, you know the word libas. وَلِبَاسُ التَّقْوَى ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ هُنَّ لِبَاسٌ لَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لِبَاسٌ لَهُنْ. You know the word libas. The word libas means clothing or a garment. This here is actually on the fourth bab. And it's the fourth bab, Maldi Majhul. Think about that. It's the Maldi Majhul. Al-Basa means that he caused libas. When you cause clothing for someone else, it means what? It means you dress someone else. Because you're causing clothing. Like say you're dressing a child, you're doing albasa, you're causing clothing for them. But this is albasa, this is ulbisa. Will be dressed, or will be put on a garment, will be or adorned, will be dressed. You with me? So this ulbisa is majhul. When I have a majhul verb, I don't look for fa'il. What do I look for? When I have a majhul verb, what do I look for? I look for what and what hal will be in. If I have a majhul verb, what do I look for and what hal will it be in? When I have a ma'loom verb, I look for the fa'il, it will be in raf'un. When I have a majhul verb, I look for na'ibul fa'il, who the action was done to, and will be in raf'un. The na'ibul fa'il here is walidahu. The na'ibul fa'il is always in raf'un. Na'ibul fa'il is always in raf'un. Walidahu. Walida comes from walidani. Walidani. So walidani is raf'un. Walidani is raf'un. Walidahu is raf'un. If it had to be nasb, it would be walidayhi. Because from walidayni. Aini, remember? And jarrun walidayni. Walidayhi. From walidayni. So walida, there is the naibul fa'il. A walid is a parent. Normally a walid refers to your father. Your walid refers to your father. But if you say walidani, it doesn't mean you have two fathers. Walidani means your father and mother. It means your parents. So walidahu means his two parents. So let's go from the beginning. Man, whoever, qara'a, recites al-Quran, the Quran, wa amila, and he acts, bima, in that which fihi is in it. What's going to happen? Ulbisa, will be dressed, will be adorned, will be clothed. Who will be dressed, adorned, clothed? Will be the action will be done to walidahu. Will be adorned. Who will be adorned? Walidahu. His two parents, naibul fa'il. His parents will be adorned with what? Tajan. A taj is a crown. A taj is a crown. A taj is a crown. Like Taj Mahal, probably the crown, like from Taj Mahal, the crown of places. A taj is a crown. Ulbisa will be addressed, will be adorned. Walidahu, his parents. Tajan, a crown. When will this happen? Yawmal qiyamati, on the day of qiyamah, of standing of judgment. So a beautiful hadith, the first part of it, that whoever reads the Quran and acts and lives the Quran, who's going to benefit? Your parents will benefit. Subhanallah. Yes, of course, you will benefit, but even your parents will benefit. And how will they benefit? Ulbisa walidahu. His parents will be crowned with a tajan, with a crown, when? On the Yawm al-Qiyamah, on the day of Qiyamah. So even if your parents have passed away, if you come in to study the Quran and learn the Quran and you're living the teachings, you are actually honoring and elevating your parents. Subhanallah. So make that niyyah as that you study the Quran, you read the Quran, make the niyyah, it's also for your parents also, that they will be crowned on the day of Qiyamah. The hadith continues. The hadith says, Daw'uhu, daw means light or brightness. So daw'uhu means its light. The light of the crown. The hu goes back to the taj, to the crown. Daw'uhu. The light, the brightness of this, the, and also the mubtada. It's like a new sentence. So like Yawm al-Qiyamah, comma or full stop, that's the one sentence. But still the same hadith. Daw'uhu, new sentence. Its light. The light of the crown. Give me news about the light. It's ahsanu. So daw'uhu is the focus, is the mubtada. Ahsanu is the khabar. It's a one word khabar because I can see it's in raf'un. Daw'uhu. Its light is ahsan. Ahsan means better, more beautiful, more good. It's better. Daw'uhu, its light of the crown is going to be better min daw'i shamsi, than daw'i shamsi. Then can see daw'i is light, ash-shams is jar, therefore it's mudaf ilayh, therefore add a dhan of. Is better than the light of the sun. Subhanallah. So Allah says that the crown that our, inshallah, our parents will dua, our parents will be crowned on the day of Qiyamah, will be brighter min daw'i shams. Daw'uhu ahsanu will be brighter min daw'i shams, than the light of the sun. That's how bright it will be. That's bright already. Subhanallah. Then to emphasize it even more, Allah says, Fi buyuti dunya. In the buyuti dunya. Buyut means houses, and dunya means the world. Fi buyuti dunya means in the houses of the world. What does it mean? Its light will be lighter and brighter than the sun in the houses of the world, in this worldly dwellings. Law kanat fikum. Law means hypothetically. If. Kanat refers to shams, because shams is feminine. Law kanat, if it, the sun, had to be fikum, with, like inside of you, with you. So Allah is saying what? Not Allah, the Prophet ﷺ is saying that daw'uhu, the light of this crown, will be ahsanu, will be brighter min daw'i shams, brighter than the light of the sun, fi biyuti dunya, if the sun in the houses of this world, law kanat fikum, if it had to be with you. You know, hypothetically speaking, say Allah put the sun in your house. Hypothetical is like a completely hypothetical. Allah put the sun in your house. Because sometimes you can have a dim sun or you can have a bright sun. Allah is saying, if Allah had to put this, the Prophet is saying, the sun had to be in your house. That brightness, that this crown on the day of Qiyamah will exceed even that brightness. You with me? That the brightness of the sun, hypothetically speaking, if it had to be in your house, it would obviously be completely radiant and bright. That brightness will not even match the brightness that parents will be crowned with on the day of Qiyamah. For what? For the person that has read the Quran and that has acted according to the Quran. The hadith continues. فَمَا ظَنُّكُمْ بِالَّذِي عَمِلَ بِهَذَا. So full stop. فَمَا, new sentence. فَمَا ظَنُّكُمْ. فَمَا. So what is ظَنُّكُمْ? Dhan means your thought, your thinking. ظَنُّكُمْ, what is your, what are your thoughts? بِالَّذِي, about the one that عَمِلَ, that acts بِهَذَا, with this, with the Quran. Meaning what? If this is the reward for the parents of the one who recites and acts according to the Quran, that they will be crowned with a light that is brighter than the sun had been placed in someone's house. What do you still think about the one that is actually the one who is reading and acting according to the Quran? If that's his parents' reward, what's his reward or her reward? Subhanallah. So it's a beautiful hadith. You're welcome to ask me questions if something is unclear. A beautiful hadith. Rawahu Abu Dawud. Abu Dawud narrates the hadith. Wal Hakim, and Hakim narrates the hadith in his Mustadrak. Waqala, and he says Sahihul Isnad, that the chain of transmission is authentic. I must say also on this hadith that even though Imam Hakim considers the hadith to be sound, I think the majority opinion will be that the hadith is actually weak. Sometimes what happens, like you have in fiqh, you have different madhabs and different opinions. Also in hadith, you have different opinions with regard to individual hadith, because they would grade the narrators in different ways and so on. So Imam Hakim, he considers the hadith to be sahih, but other scholars will consider the hadith to be da'if, to be weak. But it's not very weak. When a hadith is just like a normal weakness, it means someone in the chain, they're an upright, pious person, but their memory isn't so strong. So we can't rely 100% on the hadith. So the practice of the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, the majority of the muhaddithun, is that when it comes to a weak hadith, we are able to say it and quote it and transmit it for fada'il, for virtues. So we won't base a law upon it, like derive fiqh and aqidah from it, but we will narrate the hadith for the sake of virtues, to encourage people, like in this example, to read the Quran and to act according to the Quran. And we also have hope in the message of this hadith, that this will be the reward for our parents, inshaAllah ta'ala. So beautiful hadith. So we'll memorize the hadith now, and then we will do our back lessons, and then we'll finish with that, inshaAllah ta'ala. So bismillah. So man. So again, make the effort, make the niyyah, even if you're not used to memorizing, even if it's your first time, make the effort, you memorize half of it, bismillah. It's nur, it's the words of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and make dua that the meaning also will be realized for us. Allahu Ameen. So man qara al-Qur'ana, 3 times from inside. Man qara al-Qur'ana. Man qara al-Qur'ana. Last time. Man qara al-Qur'ana. Now from memory. Okay, bismillah, I should be able to hear me now. I just changed batteries now. So bismillah. Man qara and so when you're saying it, try to also feel and say the meanings of the words as well. Are you able to hear me now? Inshallah. So bismillah. Man qara al-Qur'ana wa amila bima fihi. Again, from the text. Man qara al-Qur'ana, the one who reads the Quran, wa amila bima fihi, and who acts according to the Quran. From memory now. Man qara al-Qur'ana wa amila bima fihi. Again. Man qara al-Qur'ana wa amila bima fihi. Next part. ألبس والداه تاجا يوم القيامة. So we do all words together from the text. ألبس والداه تاجا يوم القيامة. Say it again. ألبس will be given to wear. Walidahu, his two parents. Tajan, a crown. Yawm al-Qiyamah, on the day of Qiyamah. I say twice from text. Ulbisa walidahu tajan yawm al-Qiyamati. Ulbisa walidahu tajan yawm al-Qiyamati. From memory. Ulbisa walidahu tajan يوم القيامة. Again. ألبس والداه تاجا يوم القيامة. Last time. ألبس والداه تاجا يوم القيامة. From the text. ألبس والداه تاجا يوم القيامة. Let's say the first part from the beginning. From the text inshallah. Twice. من قرأ القرآن وعمل بما فيه ألبس والداه تاجا يوم القيامة. Again. من قرأ القرآن وعمل بما فيه ألبس والداه تاجا يوم القيامة. From memory. من قرأ القرآن وعمل بما فيه ألبس والداه تاجا يوم القيامة. Again. من قرأ القرآن وعمل بما فيه ألبس والداه تاجا يوم القيامة. So that even you can quote it as a hadith also. If that's, this is too much for you, then you can even quote it like that. Bismillah. Next one. ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس. ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس. From the text. ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس. Next again. ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس. From memory. ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس. Again. ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس. Again. ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس. Say it from the beginning. من قرأ القرآن وعمل بما فيه ألبس والداه تاجا يوم القيامة ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس. Again from the beginning. من قرأ القرآن وعمل بما فيه ألبس will be given to wear والداه تاجا يوم القيامة ضوءه its light أحسن من ضوء الشمس. Remember the meaning as well to help you with the memorization. From the beginning, from memory. من قرأ القرآن وعمل بما فيه ألبس والداه تاجا يوم القيامة ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس. From the beginning. من قرأ القرآن وعمل بما فيه ألبس والداه تاجا يوم القيامة ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس. Next part. في بيوت الدنيا. From the text. في بيوت الدنيا. From the text again. في بيوت الدنيا. Again. في بيوت الدنيا. From memory. في بيوت الدنيا. في بيوت الدنيا. في بيوت الدنيا. This is from ضوءه. ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس في بيوت الدنيا. Again. ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس في بيوت الدنيا. ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس في بيوت الدنيا. From memory. ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس في بيوت الدنيا. ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس في بيوت الدنيا. Last time. ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس في بيوت الدنيا. لو. Next from text. Next part. لو كانت فيكم. لو كانت فيكم. لو if كانت it. The كانت. It's a ta with for the femininity. Goes back to the shams. And it the shams being فيكم being amongst you. لو كانت فيكم. لو كانت فيكم. From memory, لو كانت فيكم. لو كانت فيكم. From ضوءه. From the text. ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس في بيوت الدنيا لو كانت فيكم. Again. ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس في بيوت الدنيا لو كانت فيكم. Again. ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس لو كانت فيك. sorry. ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس في بيوت الدنيا لو كانت فيكم. From memory. ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس في بيوت الدنيا لو كانت فيكم. Again. ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس في بيوت الدنيا لو كانت فيكم. Last part. فما ظنكم بالذي عمل بهذا. فما ظنكم بالذي عمل بهذا. فما ظنكم بالذي عمل بهذا. Again. فما ظنكم. ظن means thought. فما ظنكم بالذي, by the one that عمل بهذا, acts with us. فما ظنكم بالذي عمل بهذا. Again. فما ظنكم بالذي عمل بهذا. Last time. فما ظنكم بالذي عمل بهذا. From memory. فما ظنكم بالذي عمل بهذا. Again. فما ظنكم بالذي عمل بهذا. فما ظنكم بالذي عمل بهذا. فما ظنكم بالذي عمل بهذا. From ضوءه. ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس في بيوت الدنيا لو كانت فيكم. فما ظنكم بالذي عمل بهذا. Again. ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس في بيوت الدنيا لو كانت فيكم. فما ظنكم بالذي عمل بهذا. Last time. ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس في بيوت الدنيا لو كانت فيكم. فما ظنكم بالذي عمل بهذا. Okay. Not so easy, but it's good, mashallah. It's tough, challenging. So we'll read the hadith once from the text and then maybe twice from memory, inshallah ta'ala. Try to picture the words, try to feel the words. And the more you say it, the more it will become firm in your memory. من قرأ القرآن وعمل بما فيه ألبس والداه تاجا يوم القيامة ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس في بيوت الدنيا لو كانت فيكم. فما ظنكم بالذي عمل بهذا. From memory, inshallah. من قرأ القرآن وعمل بما فيه ألبس والداه تاجا يوم القيامة ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس في بيوت الدنيا لو كانت فيكم. فما ظنكم بالذي عمل بهذا. Again from memory. من قرأ القرآن وعمل بما فيه ألبس والداه تاجا يوم القيامة ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس في بيوت الدنيا لو كانت فيكم. فما ظنكم بالذي عمل بهذا. Was anybody able to say it from memory? Just say yes or a thumbs up if you are able to say it from memory. Also you find that when you memorize hadith, there's a certain nur, a certain light that comes with memorizing hadith. It's like an enjoyable experience, enjoyable jihad, enjoyable struggle to memorize. So was anybody able to memorize? One of the two neurons maybe? Sister Jawaya? Allah. Okay, but you have to practice, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, so now we're going to go one round of back lessons and then we'll finish with that, inshallah. We will do, and again it was a bit fast today. So we'll do back lessons, but inshallah work on your own time as well. I did go fast today because time was a bit late and yeah, it's quite a lot of work to do it slowly as well. So we'll do it now, one each hadith. But I think the back lessons are important. Don't log off now and go sleep and have a nap or whatever the case is. You must do the back lessons as well because that actually makes it permanent memory. Like us doing this every week and going from hadith number 1 to hadith number 11, it will make it part of our permanent memory. I do it for my own benefit, so that I can make it firm, because I don't really practice in the week much at all actually. So the Sunday time with you now is my practice time too, to practice the hadith. Okay. MashaAllah, Brother Yasin has memorized it. Okay, Bismillah. First hadith, once in, once from memory, inshallah. Bismillah. خيركم من تعلم القرآن وعلمه. From memory. خيركم من تعلم القرآن وعلمه. Hadith number 2. من قرأ حرفا من كتاب الله فله به حسنة والحسنة بعشر أمثالها لا أقول ألف لام حرف ولكن ألف حرف ولام حرف وميم حرف. From memory. من قرأ حرفا من كتاب الله فله به حسنة والحسنة بعشر أمثالها لا أقول ألف لام حرف ولكن ألف حرف ولام حرف وميم حرف. Next hadith. إن الله يرفع بهذا الكتاب أقواما ويضع به آخرين. From memory. إن الله يرفع بهذا الكتاب أقواما ويضع به آخرين. Next one from the text. من شغله القرآن وذكري عن مسألتي أعطيته أفضل ما أعطي السائلين وفضل كلام الله على سائر الكلام كفضل الله على خلقه. From memory. من شغله القرآن وذكري عن مسألتي أعطيته أفضل ما أعطي السائلين وفضل كلام الله على سائر الكلام كفضل الله على خلقه. Now I'm going fast, but it should be faster now, inshallah. Next hadith from memory. From the text verse. مثل المؤمن الذي يقرأ القرآن كمثل الأترجة ريحها طيب وطعمها طيب ومثل المؤمن الذي لا يقرأ القرآن كمثل التمرة لا ريح لها وطعمها حلو ومثل المنافق الذي يقرأ القرآن مثل الريحانة ريحها طيب وطعمها مر ومثل المنافق الذي لا يقرأ القرآن كمثل الحنظلة ليس لها ريح وطعمها مر. Most difficult one this year. Bismillah, inshallah. مثل المؤمن الذي يقرأ القرآن كمثل الأترجة ريحها طيب وطعمها طيب ومثل المؤمن الذي لا يقرأ القرآن كمثل التمرة لا ريح لها وطعمها حلو ومثل المنافق الذي يقرأ القرآن كمثل الريحانة ريحها طيب وطعمها مر ومثل المنافق الذي لا يقرأ القرآن كمثل الحنظلة ليس لها ريح وطعمها مر. Next one, Bismillah. ومثل الجليس الصالح كمثل صاحب المسك. From the text. ومثل الجليس الصالح كمثل صاحب المسك إن لم يصبك منه شيء أصابك من ريحه ومثل الجليس السوء كمثل صاحب الكير إن لم يصبك من سواده أصابك من دخانه. بسم الله from memory. ومثل الجليس الصالح كمثل صاحب المسك إن لم يصبك منه شيء أصابك من ريحه ومثل الجليس السوء كمثل صاحب الكير إن لم يصبك من سواده أصابك من دخانه. Next hadith. الماهر بالقرآن مع السفرة الكرام البررة والذي يقرأ القرآن ويتتعتأ فيه وهو عليه شاق فله أجران. From memory. الماهر بالقرآن مع سفرة الكرام البررة والذي يقرأ القرآن ويتتعتأ فيه وهو عليه شاق فله أجران. Did I make a mistake there? From memory again. الماهر بالقرآن مع سفرة الكرام البررة والذي يقرأ القرآن ويتتعتأ فيه وهو عليه شاق فله أجران. Next hadith. يا رسول الله أوصني قال عليك بتقوى الله فإنها رأس الأمر كله. قلت يا رسول الله زدني قال عليك بتلاوة القرآن فإنه نور لك في الأرض ونور لك في السماء. From memory. يا رسول الله أوصني قال عليك بتقوى الله فإنه رأس الأمور كله قال زدني قال عليك بتلاوة القرآن فإنه نور لك في الأرض ونور لك في السماء. Next hadith. القرآن شافع مشفع وماحل مصدق من جعله أمامه قاده إلى الجنة ومن جعله خلف ظهره ساقه إلى النار. From memory. القرآن شافع مشفع وماحل مصدق من جعله أمامه قاده إلى الجنة ومن جعله وراء ظهره ومن جعله خلف ظهره ساقه إلى النار. This hadith, I wonder how people are still with me here. اقرأوا القرآن فإنه يأتي يوم القيامة شفيعا لأصحابه. Again, اقرأوا القرآن فإنه يأتي يوم القيامة شفيعا لأصحابه. From memory. اقرأوا القرآن فإنه يأتي يوم القيامة شفيعا لأصحابه. And the most difficult one is the most recent one. Let's say it inshallah from memory and then from the text and then from memory. Bismillah. من قرأ القرآن وعمل بما فيه ألبس والداه تاجا يوم القيامة ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس في بيوت الدنيا لو كانت فيكم فما ظنكم بالذي عمل بهذا. From the text. من قرأ القرآن وعمل بما فيه ألبس والداه تاجا يوم القيامة ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس في بيوت الدنيا لو كانت فيكم فما ظنكم بالذي عمل بهذا. From memory. من قرأ القرآن وعمل بما فيه ألبس والداه تاجا يوم القيامة ضوءه أحسن من ضوء الشمس في بيوت الدنيا لو كانت فيكم فما ظنكم بالذي عمل بهذا. Alhamdulillah. So that with that we have memorized now 11 hadith. I want to just tell you something before I go. Just to give you some at the moment Maulana has a class where he is reading hadith every day in Ramadan from Musnad Ahmad. He's reading but not translation, he's just reading the hadith every day from Musnad Ahmad. We are on hadith number 11. We've done so far 11 hadith. And you can see how much work it is to read a hadith, to understand the hadith, to explain the hadith. And we've done the hadith without even memorizing the chain of narration. Because normally what happens if you're muhaddith, if you're a student of hadith, you have to memorize the chain of narration as well. If you're a muhaddith now who memorizes instead of writes, then you have to memorize the chain of narrators. And hundreds and thousands of muhaddithun have memorized chains of narration. So we are on hadith number 11. Malta is reading the Musnad Ahmad every day since the beginning of Ramadan. He is on hadith, the class now is on hadith 18,332. Can you imagine that? That's one collection of hadith. Malta is now reading since the beginning of Ramadan. He is on hadith number 18,332. And there's still another 8,000 to go to finish this one collection, the Musnad Ahmad of hadith. So you're looking at about 26,000 hadith. So can you appreciate what it means for someone to have studied, and many of the ulama would have memorized 26,000 hadith with their change of narrators. And the change of narrators are 10 times harder than memorizing the words of the hadith. Because the change of narrators are people's names and sequence and how the names come in first, second, third, from this to this to this to this person. We're just trying to memorize just the text of the hadith, which is actually like the shortcut. So can you imagine, that's 26, they finished now over 18,000 hadith they've read in the Ramadan so far. And subhanAllah, we are hadith number 11. Because studying, this is the thing about knowledge, is that when someone is outside of Islamic studies and outside of these circles, they don't often appreciate what actually the depth and the scholarship that people have gone to within Islamic studies. I mean, just to imagine, one collection is 26,000 hadith, which someone has studied and memorized and documented and had students. This is one collection in one subject, and there are obviously many other hadith books. So it's only when you actually participate does one realize it's not actually all that easy, and it requires hard work. And the more you are a student, the more you will feel like you know nothing. The more you are a student, mashallah, you become a student of hadith, and you start memorizing a few hadith, the more you feel like, subhanallah, what do I know? I suppose, like you feel like nothing. You're struggling to memorize 11 hadith without the chains. What about the great scholars of hadith? So this is the appreciation one gets for studying hadith as well. And with all the sciences like this. As soon as you open the science, you realize this science is also an ocean, and this science is also an ocean. And these are all oceans of sciences. And may Allah make us true students of deen, who are humble before knowledge, but are also striving to learn and to take our portion from these hadith, because these hadith are the inheritance from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we as Muslims and students of deen, we should take these hadith, we should read them, we should memorize them, we should repeat them. They should become part of our lives. And for the last hadith, we make dua for our parents as well. May our parents be blessed in this life, and also be blessed in the Khabar, and be blessed in the next life. And may they be adorned with the crown of this crown of the day of Qiyamah, that will be brighter than this earthly sun. And this will be due to their children who have read the Quran, and they who have lived the Quran. And we also make dua that we will have children in turn ourselves that will be children of Quran. Can you imagine that if this is the reward of the parent, what it means to give your child a good education, to make your child a hafiz of the Quran, make your child an understanding of the Quran, make your child a teacher of the Quran. This is what it means. So it's a beautiful hadith for you even to prioritize what do you want to educate your child with. May Allah bless and protect our parents, our children, and ourselves. And next week we won't have class, so we'll see you inshallah in 2 weeks time. I make dua inshallah that the last few days you must push. Don't fall at the finish line. Push yourselves for the last few days. Seek Laylatul Qadr at the last few nights, and have a blessed Eid, blessed lockdown Eid with yourselves and your family or whoever you're with, inshallah ta'ala. And make dua soon. We'll be back in class again soon, inshallah ta'ala. May Allah bless and protect. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.